Good evening,
Ah,
good night, good morning, good afternoon, worldwide. We are the Titans. And people, me just tell Pat and me just tell my brother them say the way me feel vexed, Big Mama for charge of treason. We just tell them for charge of treason because Big Mama run out, and I go say him thank God for Rubio and Donald Trump for expose what are going on in Jamaica. The man I call up Michael Man the name. Michael Man, and I say the Cuban them cannot move. And oh, them have the like the man them have that chain. Make a play it. But let me tell you something we're gonna play tonight for the people. We're gonna play the video how the Cuban them party in the place. Me have them. The Cuban them party, them their karaoke, them drink, them night, the doctor nurses. So all this Big Mama talk is bullshit. Yeah? Because we tell them already we're going to show them tonight. When they can't go look them up, because we line them up for play them. But brothers, you won't want to knock them first with. But if we knock them with Julian Robinson, because a long time we show them say, Holness I run out of talk about 10 bucks it with him like itself. 10 budget without no new taxes. And we play it a million times. No, Julian, roll out and run them with it, And yes. I find it out today and I feel good,
Yeah.
Yes, people get fed up. And them lies.
Yeah.
And them all Andrew Holness and Julian, I tell them, say, find back your voice now. How should they answer that? Are they 2015 this when? Yo, if deal with them, crab it. I may tell you, so we the Titans feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we feel good, man. Me not like, yes, Byron.
Yeah, man, it's no doubt about it. Lonesome and melting pot. Julian Robinson had done a stellar performance, right? The things that I like about his presentation was to, roll back the curtains, right, and show people the true history in terms of who built the economy, right? And rightly so, it is the People's National Party who had built the economy. One of the items that he mentioned, right, was and we know that, it's a policy that might be, they are going to use it later, but we're glad that he had put it out there, right? And knowing to the fact that if it's being used, PNP has to get the credit as it relates to the sort of digital system, right? To track persons who ought to pay their tax, right? Making sure that they are paying their tax, right? And that we don't have to raise new taxes, right? To pressure the people who are being suffering, because coming out of Beryl, let us back from Beryl.
Yes.
Because we did not really fully survive Beryl, as it relates to, although Beryl never really impact us, right, in any significant way, as opposed to like what Melissa did. But somewhat we had gotten impacted. We had been impacted from that. However, coming out of Beryl, right, and then roll into Melissa, right, it becomes significantly a devastation for us. But the key factor here, and one of the things that I love what Julian Robinson pointed out, that the economy was suffering before even Beryl and Melissa. And this is something that I also pointed out.
Good.
That the economy was under stress as a result of Andrew Holness corruption, right? Because Lonesome, when you look, remember that the overall damage of both, Beryl and Melissa, when you compact them together, you're talking about over $2 trillion.
Yes.
Right? As it relates to the devastation of these natural, disaster. But, when you look at it, Pat and Lonesome, you have to focus corruption, because corruption eat out more than $4 trillion. When we look at that melting pot, so we say, okay, here is the damage from Melissa and Beryl, right, which equate to roughly about $2.8 trillion. However, our corruption had done more damage to the economy as it relates to roughly about $4 trillion unaccounted for, because the last time, in terms of the Auditor General making a report on that, right, the total was $3 trillion that was unaccounted for. And if you look on the situation that what continue, right, to why we're having this, huge deficit being unaccounted for, right? What is the problem? So they said, okay, all right, the Auditor General, if you remember one time that they attacked the Auditor General in saying that, right, the money has not been stolen, the money has not been blah, 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 blah. For what it may, we are talking about $3 trillion unaccounted for. The Auditor General cannot give an account to say, okay, all right, you say they spent $6 billion. Show us how you spend that $6 billion. There is no form of documentation. No. What is the cause of that? Let us go through specifically. Right? We have the appropriation account, melting pot and loan sum.
Yeah.
Right? The appropriation account, right, it affects respectively each ministry. So every ministry has its appropriation account that they have to finish up as it relates to all of the government expenditures, right, that need to be reported on, right? And, the PAC and the PAAC will normally follow up on certain process to say, well, all right, the monies were spent for value, right, and can give an account. However, the appropriation account, right, by law, supposed to be submitted on a yearly basis.
Yes.
On a yearly basis. If you go back and look, right, the appropriation account is supposed to be submitted on a yearly basis.
Yes.
But from Andrew Holness had taken over governance, the appropriation account has not been submitted.
Never.
That is one of the things that I want Julian Robinson, right, shed some light on, right, in asking the Jamaica Labour Party administration, what is the status of the appropriation account in respect of each ministry? Because the Jamaican people want to know how their tax monies are spending. And the Auditor General, right, can be able to say what is happening with taxpayers' money through the appropriation account. Sure. That is how the Auditor General, you understand, is able to do a specific audit, right, and more detailed audit. So then, not having the appropriation account, right, from the various ministries, right, it gives the Auditor General a little bit of problem in terms of that deep dive to tell you what specifically wrong and how the money spent. Now, all right, this is what I'm saying, Melting Pot. If you have good governance, and let us use one ministry, right, because that ministry is a really serious problem, Melting Pot, serious problem. Let us use the health ministry. Not only that, the health ministry, right, cannot account for over $700-800 billion. It's just that the health system continue to be dilapidated. A lot of Jamaican people are not getting the service. Basic, right, amenities, right, are just not there, right? You're talking about from beds, not having adequate beds, right? We are suffering as it relates to skeleton staff, suffering very hard, and now that the Cuban doctors and nurses and technicians are out, it's more serious. And so then it is a very serious situation where you have the appropriation account for the Ministry of Health, you understand, not being submitted. Right? So what is going on? And at the same time, it is the same Christopher Tufton and the political campaign shouting out loud, amplifying his voice on the political campaign, said it is his administration, no other administration in the history of Jamaican politics, that had brought the budget, the healthcare budget from $64 billion to $147 billion. The big question, where is the money? How is it spent? Why the appropriation account? No. When they drill down, what people need to understand, that when the Auditor General drill down, Dunstan Bryan evacuate, take away himself. Dunstan Bryan take away himself. When him come under the scrutiny of trying for the Auditor General try to understand what really happened in the healthcare as it relates to $700, $800 billion missing. Him, Dunstan Bryan, was saying that some people dead, some people gone foreign. You understand documentation. You understand can't able to get proper documentation and so forth until he automatically take for himself. And then who you have now there as permanent secretary? Green. We are Green. Green don't know anything about all the pilfering or going, You understand? Remember what we have on our hand. We have Cornwall Regional Hospital, and I want the people to understand something. Cornwall Regional Hospital from the onset, how it started as it relates to refurbishing. Right? Now, they decided that, okay, Cornwall Regional wanted to be refurbished. Right? Because of things, going south. So then, basically, common sense, they would have done a cost analysis. Now, so you go, they would have done a cost analysis.
So, brother, before even that, when them start, remember it start from a tiny, the air conditioner get some problem.
Yes.
Then them say take it out. Then them say refurbish. And now we don't know where it gone. It gone.
Okay. So this is what I'm saying. At the point that they decided that, okay, all right, we all agreed that, okay, we want to fix the system and we are going to do some refurbish. Okay. Who they would have spoken to? They would have spoken to the technocrats, I believe, right? The experts. Now, the experts, right, would have done their cost analysis, right? Based on the cost analysis, right, and based on items as it relates to the current market value at the time, right, they would do their price listing and so forth and so forth. So they came up and said, okay, all right, $2 billion, right, to do the refurbish. Anyway, the government paid out this $2 billion, blah, 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 blah. That $2 billion, for some reason, was insufficient. However, right, it wasn't sufficient enough, right, to do the project as they so claim. All right, but look at this now, melting pot. Remember, you have done a cost analysis. So it's going to take, as it relates to the previous mistake, you are going to do a second cost analysis. The second cost analysis, now you should now understand where you are at, because the first cost analysis that you have done, right, as it relates to the eyes of the technocrats, right, you'd have seen the mistakes and so forth and so forth. You are going to tell me, Mystic Sensation, you're going to tell Melting Pot, you're going to tell Lonesome, that you have done a second cost analysis. Second cost analysis, you increase the budget to 100%, from 2 billion to 4 billion. That is how you increase the budget. So, okay, all right, 2 billion was insufficient, right, for whatever reason, right? So, okay, give us another 2 billion. So it's increased from 2 billion to 4 billion, 100% increase. However, after the 4 billion, a second cost analysis, after the 4 billion, right, that, the technocrats tell you that, okay, all right, go and need 4 billion and blah, blah, blah. You're okay, procurement, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, guess what? The world know. The 4 billion still cannot complete the refurbish. So you say, okay, all right, let us move to a third class analysis. No, seriously, first class analysis. What did you learn? Nothing. Second class analysis. What did you learn? Nothing. Third class analysis. Now take you now from 4 billion to 9 billion. That is more than 100% increase. That to me, you understand, looking like it is a 110% increase. So then,
from 4 to 9, 125.
Yes. So
a billion will be 25%,
Exactly.
So look at 125%. Yes.
So look at the ultimate wrong and the incompetence of the government. First analysis take you up to 2 billion. The second analysis, it increased by 100%. You got it wrong by 100%.
And then from that now to 125.
Third analysis, cost analysis, right? It takes you now to 110% increase.
125%, brother.
125% increase.
Yes, because 1 billion, 2 billion, 3 billion.
You're right. You're right in terms of the detail of the months.
125%.
And you're perfectly right with that, Will.
Yeah.
So it takes it to 125. It takes it to 125% increase. 9 billion melting pot, and it still can't it still can't finish. But hold on, big mistake. So Christopher Tufton came out and explained, and people keep on talking, and right, some people are talking about $20 billion and dollar, blah blah blah, right? Now he's now claiming that okay, all right, $20 billion has not been spent, right? It's $9 billion spent, but the $24 billion projected cost. What? So if you have $9 billion and it's going to reach now $23 billion projected cost, that is roughly about 135% increase or 140% increase. That's only on some.
Yeah, man. 19, and then enough money that gone again. So over 150 billion increase, because half a 9, you say half of the 9 about 4.5. So if you add 4.5 and 9, how much you get?
You don't understand what I'm saying?
How much you get? 4.5, that's 13.5 plus a 9, yeah. That means more than even 150%.
Yes.
Because 18 plus 4.5, that are just 22.5 billion. So it's more than 150% that gone up in a pot.
All right, look.
Because they want 22.5 billion if 150%. So and
122.5. But the 23.5.
More than 150%. That
more than 150.
All right. Let us come down to reality. Let us come down to reality now.
Yes.
Real politics. Let us deal with the real politics and real accountability. Christopher Tufton could not be the Minister of Health, right? Under Mia Barbados.
No.
Mia Matley fired him.
I'm Byron.
Mia Matley
Byron, when you look onto, you look on the original cost, 2 billion. So if a 4 billion, 100%, 6 billion, 200, 8 billion, 300, 10 billion, 400, and the next 10 billion. So when you do it, right, him gone over how much, how much percent? Him gone over 1,000% from the original cost.
Over 1,000%. Over 1,000%.
Fucking percent the guy gone from the original cost. So
1105%, 11.5%, 1100.5%.
From the original 2 billion.
Yes.
This bad.
So Lonesome and Melting Pot. This guy,
yes,
right, couldn't be Minister of Health in Barbados. Mia Matley would have sent him to prison. He would have gone to prison.
Yes.
He couldn't be Minister of Health. You understand? In a Cayman. As a matter of fact, nowhere, no other place. I am telling Christopher Tufton, you, Christopher Tufton, could never ever be the Minister of Health, right? In no other Caribbean island. You'd have gone to prison. You would have gone to prison. It's worse if you're talking about a first world country. You'd have passed prison. You understand?
Would never be in the UK.
Yeah, you survive. You survive prison because the head of our politics is a criminal. And that's a plain truth. And I take back and I yield back.
Yes, Pat.
Yeah, man. This afternoon, performance from the Shadow Minister of Finance from the People's National Party was one of brilliance. Yeah, man. I mean, I can tell you it was a stellar performance. And if it was a boxing match, the match would have finished from round 4. Round 4 when them draw for the period between 2007 and 2011.
Ketio.
That round killed
Yes.
the entire Jamaica Labour Party administration.
Yes.
And it has Kanjo looking like him out of place. Him not have him game face none at all, you know. You know him always wear him game face and come, you know. This time, him game face was nowhere to be seen. Because Julian Robinson, you know, come out swinging, you know. And me I tell you, so when him deliver the jab and knock them with the uppercut, all me can see is Andrew Wallace's face gone in a different direction. And I like that performance because for too long these guys have the play field to themselves, you know. And them now get a challenge as it relates to real accountability being asked of them. Now Julian Robinson came out and laid the law right in its order. You understand? And when we look at it, you know, it is a law that show them to be in breach of a lot of criminal activity as it relates to how the finance of the country was structured, including the $11.4 billion annually with them take from the National Housing Trust. You know? And also other tax like environment tax, that tax levy, all that gone into consolidation fund. And that is why we don't see no gully, nor drain, nor bridge, nor coastline infrastructure being looked at. Because Andrew know how to scam the thing, you know. Yeah, but Julian come out swinging at him and put him in a corner where he couldn't respond. But we could look first from what took place as it relates to the trade deficit. I want to touch that, you know. Now, the trade deficit is something that if you're not intact with it and in touch with it, it mash up your economy. Because if you are export a certain amount,
1.6.
but your import is like 4 times or 5 times that amount. It mash up your economy, destabilize the economy. Yeah? Now, I want to just make mention of what the trade deficit was. 2016, when Andrew took it from Portia Simpson. It was 1.81 billion US dollar. Now, currently, that trade deficit stand at 6.2 billion US dollar. Now that shows the gap widened by 4.3 billion US dollar under this kleptocratic regime government. And it also show the weakness of the Foreign Affairs and Trade Minister, Kamina Johnson Smith. She not work, she not fit for the job, you know. She don't fit for the job because number one, she don't seek nothing as it relates to new trade deal. Yeah. She not look for new market. She not bring no job to Jamaica. Exactly. So that alone show you say she as a minister in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Trade. She not fit for purpose. She need to go. But Andrew keep her there because Andrew like the lunatic them around him, you know. Because with the lunatic them become yes man and yes woman. You understand? Like how you see Mummy return, I wind up she and send her to come make a presentation as the Minister of Finance, you know. I PLI them wind up with, you know. And she come out and make them look damn stupid once again. Because when she talk about say no other administration has ever have a net reserve of 6.8 billion US dollar. She's lying. And I just go back to Melissa and tell the people them and show the people them say she a lie. If Andrew did sit down for $6.8 billion in a net reserve, yeah, Andrew and wouldn't depend on him jaw, you know. And sit down and look like Alice in a Wonderland, you know. Andrew never have no money for a attack what happened in a Melissa, you know. The first move him couldn't make it. Andrew have to wait for money to come from outside donor. Andrew have to run down a G7 summit meet where you're invited. Go and gate crash the people at meeting. I beg and borrow. So them never sit down for no $6.8 billion reserve.
But Pat, what I tell you say, them a try treat Jamaican people. So but the reserve cannot choose about them borrow money and tap it up. It's not for them.
Borrow the money and tap it up.
Exactly.
Remember them put 1.8 billion in it the other day before the guy they leave, you know. So it's an artificial thing that try to hold the dollar and it cannot hold. So them can't treat nobody. If you have it, why you never use it? You can't use it because remember we have to pay it back. And also, brother, them take a fee that, you know. Yeah, we not have money
Not money.
Yes.
Remember, if you have a certain amount of money based on the fiscal discipline where IMF set out, you know.
Yes.
Him can't touch your money there. So where was the net reserve when him have? Because you have some more money different from the money there, you know.
Yeah, because the net reserve cannot use, brother. All right, net reserve, if we not have in the US, so we in the diaspora not send down the money. And you know, say, oh, we have a little money we buy the money, because the private sector, I use it up, you know. By the way, you know, say, if I never our money, I go down there, the free money, the 4.8 billion US, where they might get Byron and Pat. And then like the 2.8 billion, where they might get out of tourism also. They won't have the money for import nothing, you know. Because that's dry. 1 year that dry.
Yes.
They don't have the money to make out. So if we never send money down there like this, them not have the money. And them can't take it and draw like, well, fix with that. Listen,
them can't touch
it. Bullshit.
I could tell them what the net reserve is all about here. I could tell them what the net reserve is all about. The net reserve is a safety fund. We're supposed to last you 12 weeks.
Yeah, if anything go on, you have money can buy goods and service, yes.
Right. Yeah.
I remember the government that buy the goods and service, you know, people. And the private sector were import.
The private sector. So you have to have that amount.
Yeah.
You have to have that amount of foreign exchange so them can use it over that period.
Yeah, if not now go on. You understand?
Yeah. So when them talk about net reserve, we don't want to hear about that. We want to hear about how much you close the trade deficit.
That is it.
That we want to hear. Because so you have to bring money coming out of the country now, you know.
Yes.
That goes to manufacturing.
Manufacturing. You have to tell you how much new trade deal you're going to see. That is the job of the Foreign Affairs Minister, Kamina Johnson Smith.
Tell her this, Mila Yatak. She go back to 92, 93. Them have zero net reserve, but them have zero and leave IMF. What that
right.
You have a net reserve and if you borrow $6.8 billion nastiness.
Nah, go nowhere.
I can't do nothing but you still. Participation never have it, but in bill highway. Him fix how much school. He never have the money from IMF and pay off IMF without net reserve. And you still carry come in like dirt and everything up. You know,
well on the way.
Some by the way now build up at the net reserve.
You just touch a point where you say Kiara come. Remember Patterson first introduced the used car dealership, you know.
Sure.
So it was a revolution in a Jamaica economy at the time under PJ Patterson.
Yes.
Doing so much, without having the help of IMF. No, we know we roll out a red carpet, the Bruce Golding and the GLP, you know. And they muddy that. Them not take care of the red carpet. Them trample all over it to them dirty boot, them dirty hand. Master of the economy.
Green.
Oh, you know.
It get green.
So, yes, my brother. So when them people are coming and talk about, you know, fiscal discipline and all these things, they must think that them can shape the narrative around here, we can fool nobody. With the advent of social media and platform like this, people will always know the truth. I will get the full subject matter. Can we break it down to them? Yeah? Now, when you look at that period of time between 2007 and 2011, and where Andrew Holness and Bruce Golding, due to the Jamaica economy, by racking up debt with IMF and missing 14 consecutive quarter was a damage to the economy. You understand? The fact of the matter that them went as far as disrespecting IMF by not even holding dialogue with IMF. Gone missing. No. When Portia seems to get the country, remember the country in a bankrupt basically, you know. Bankrupt. Country upon its face. And remember, the international money market now deal with Jamaica because of Andrew Holness and Bruce Golding and the Jamaica Labour Party administration between 2007 and 2011.
True.
During that period of time, there was no growth apart from 2011 when them grew the economy by 1%.
Yes.
That was the only year within that period of time from 2007 to 2011. The economy grew once by only 1% in 2011. So that show a complete damage and degradation of the red carpet where Patterson roll out to them. A country that was debt free. And them take no time to destroy that and bring back the country to its knee.
And one of the things, well, I meant in part, one of the things that you also have to tell them during Bruce Golding period, I mean, crushing the economy as it relates to push PJ Patterson handed over the economy to them debt-free. Very significant to talk about that. But also what's significant, under Bruce Golding administration, Bruce Golding administration sold out most of Jamaican physical assets.
True.
The airport and all of those things that Bruce
yes.
Golding had privatized. Remember?
Yeah,
Right.
man.
We have a rule them, man. We can't leave out them there.
Yes.
Can't leave out them there now.
But, hey,
Remember,
well, I know before you don't leave it out, me just tell somebody from Cayman, I say, listen, but I've just showed the 28th. I know we're busy right now. And remember, enough of we have to fly, go down there. So. But if I fly the artists them from down there, so, and one of them ticket there cost me nearly 100 and enough thousand. That one time, when we have the plane and we are run, ticket is that cheap. So it's cheaper if you fly somebody from in the state or somewhere, more than Jamaica ticket right now, and nearly 200,000. Because we now have the direct flight in a St. Lucia again. I forgot Barbados and then go class. So right now, and we have actually 4 different artists down there. That's a week after next. You so much money for the ticket, them are nearly $800,000 for just them 4 tickets there alone. Can you imagine we down there and do things like that, brother? I'm not talking about hotel and them payment and them things then. We just talk about ticket and loan. Can you imagine now you get 16,000? You couldn't bother you know and do nothing with that, man. Jamaica is a sad place. And we still do the contribution because they must spend them money when them get them full pay in a Jamaica. When them get them advance, you still have to get your balance of money. In a Jamaica, them live, so in there they must spend them money. So you see, we still have do things to the economy. That's why we have to burn them in a brother. We have to burn them.
Have to.
Yes, of course.
Because
I my cars be them grief and now, you know. And we Bruce go do, you know. Take the plane and get where. So right now, for you go down there, say you don't have a straight flight, so they ticket them out $100,000 for one. One. You have to buy 4. And I down there, you have to send my money down there to buy them. 4. Yeah? All right. Yeah, my brother. Go through.
yeah, when you look on not only damaging the economy, you know, but as Brother Byron just said, them also start sell out the country asset.
Yeah.
And when them not sell, them start privatize.
True.
You understand? Yeah. Now, when you look on the national airline, yeah, and Bruce Golding make IMF tell him, say, forget rid of it. Or if you get rid of your national asset. But yet still, you have a vibrant tourism industry where you come out and talk about all the while. So we carry the tourists them come at Jamaica. No plane. Don't if you get rid of your transport for the tourists. So we know say this kleptocratic government is a government where try to deceive the people in Jamaica at all costs. Yeah? Because remember them joined to the hip with CIA, you know. And a CIA them run IMF, you know. I remember the CIA them don't like Jamaica. Full stop. So anytime them see we have a good thing going, you know, members of the Labour Party take instruction from CIA to damage Jamaica economy and then so mash up Jamaica and keep the people them poor and enslave them. You understand? And give them peanut for them salary when you slave them. Right now, Jamaica workers are the worst off worker in a CARICOM in terms of salary. When you do the comparison, the rest of island them well off 5 times better off than Jamaica.
Hold on, melting pot. So to correct that, not in terms of salary, because our politicians are getting higher pay than other. I would have to make that exemption.
Yeah.
In terms of the politician, best paid.
Politician,
The best paid in CARICOM, but the workers are the worst paid in CARICOM.
Yeah,
Thank you for
particular tourism.
yeah, call center them.
Yes.
Tourism and call center.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
You're the
Worst in the region. Yeah. But we politicians are the best paid.
Yes.
And I want to tell you, in some other first world country, them rival them to in a salary.
But hold on. Lonesome and part. How do you square this as it relates to other Caribbean countries where their economies are more vibrant than us, right? But our economy is struggling, and our members of parliament are getting higher paid than those Caribbean countries who their economies are doing much better than us. How you square that? How we square that lonesome? How we square that melting pot?
May I show you even something where even bigger than this.
Because Cayman economy is better than Jamaica economy, right? More vibrant. Barbados economy is better than Jamaica economy, but yet our politicians are getting more pay than their politicians.
Read that one. But I think the reader one. Let me hear something better than that. Do one.
All right. Send that over there. All right. Let me see it now. Yeah, the current annual salary of the governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis, is $141,400 United States dollar. While there are discussion, come over some more loan, so can't see the other side.
All right, make it say this. So 141,000.
Yeah.
Holness, you know, you want what they remember Florida this. Florida, the governor of Florida run the whole Florida.
And Florida is bigger than Jamaica. Florida is bigger than Jamaica.
Andrew get more than him. Remember, you know, 100,000, says 16.
How do you square that?
16 million and 41. The 41 that come up to like how much now? Like, let me see now. 6, 3,
like 600.
600 million, yes. Got 41, right? 600, yes. So him Andrew get nearly 200,000, you know. 100 and nothing because him get 28, so nearly 100 and nothing of thousand him get no further than this man. How much of the population in Florida? So I put him there so in a big country. Andrew get more than a governor. You know how much people in Florida? Let me tell you. I remember Florida a big state. You want to know how much money Florida value? Look at Florida. Population. This is sin for a third world country. Florida population 23 million. How much we have? You might look over 23 million people. You want
roughly about 3 million. About 3 million people.
Jamaica.
Florida population about 8 times Jamaica size population, man.
Look at that.
What the
The
value?
Prime Minister is getting that sort of salary.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make any sense.
All right. So you see me talk about him higher paid than enough for the governor and thing that run these states.
Yeah.
And police
Yeah.
are bigger than them.
It's unfair to the Jamaican people.
Right.
Very much unfair to the Jamaican, and it is suppressing
Very much
democracy.
unfair. And then again, as me just a point out, yeah, we not get no value for the work, you know.
No.
When the government do, you know. Because
Look on the GDP now. We can't leave out the GDP. And this is in the US. Our GDP are like 21 billion. What the GDP for this?
1.7 trillion.
1.73 trillion.
Look on the GDP for these people. Trillion. Bigger than enough country all in Europe and them trillion. And the
Yes.
governor run the whole of that. I get 141.
So Andrew Holness need to justify. Andrew Holness need to come and justify why his salary is more than the Florida minister. Where the Florida minister
Yes.
responsible for a population size that is greater than us, right? It just can't square. It can't square. No justification.
Thank you.
No matter how them pretty up, there's no justification for that high salary raise. None whatsoever. And you know what?
None.
You know what about this thing, melting pot? Sad to say, right? And I don't really want to go there now. You understand? But you have right now, Lonesome. Let me try to kind this narrative in a more sensitive way. Right now, if we are to ask members of parliament, both on the GLP and the PNP side, if they're willing to draw back their salary as a result of the condition of the current economy, that would be very interesting. Would I like to see how much persons willing, you understand, to look at their salary and say no, right? And making the comparison. I want them to make the comparison in the Caribbean, make the comparison with first world country.
Yes.
Like the example in Florida that we use.
Yes.
And just to want to know if it appealed to their conscience as it relates to their salary that they are getting, as it relates to an economy that is suffering. You understand? Such dilemma. You understand? Facing significant impact, right, from Hurricane Melissa. People are suffering. And apart from that, you understand, high increase in salary, right? You are now meeting out new increases to the people. This is wicked. This is cruel. This is 100% evil. But let us see on board. And that is one of the reasons why we say Mark Golding is God bless. You understand? Mark Golding is driving the mandate. You understand? Because Mark Golding speaks categorically clear that he is not in agreement. You understand? As it relates to the type of salary that they are currently getting, and want for it to roll back. But I can tell you, Jamaica, right? I can tell you that what needs to be done, right? That they need to do an introspection with this as it relates to the salary. I'm talking to all members of parliament, right? What you need to do, all members of parliament, is to look into the Caribbean, the entire Caribbean basin, right? And ask yourself the question as it relates to all of these other Caribbean countries, right? As it relates to their salary. Why is it? Why is it that the Jamaican members of parliament salary is higher than all other members of parliament, right, as it relates to the Caribbean, right? Is it that our economy is growing in an invincible way where nobody no see it? Right? And only them alone see it? Right? Now, I want to know, when it comes to a Barbados and it comes to a Jamaica, which one of the economy is doing better? Right? I want to know, when it comes to a Cayman and a Jamaica, which one of the economy is doing better? A Bermuda versus Jamaica, right? And the list goes on. The Prime Minister and his cabinet need to come out and justify, tell us, talk to us, and said, okay, the reason why we are getting paid more than Cayman ministers because of A, B, C, and D. We want to hear. We want for you to make that comparison. We want to know if the persons who so-called leading us, if they don't have a moral compass. Because it seems like, trust me, they are working from the devil's synagogue. And this is what I'm saying, right? While you are stressing out your taxpayers to do more, put tax, right, and sweetening items, sugary items, suppress them beyond core, while your salary, right, is bigger than any other members of parliament in other jurisdiction as it relates to the Caribbean basin. So when you can do that comparison, when you can appeal to your moral conscience, then you will see what you are doing to the Jamaican taxpayers. We need to stop and take politics from out of our argument. It is wrong. It is morally wrong. I have spoken to some members of parliament pertaining to if they would, consider as it relates to have a look at the salary that they are getting and try to roll it back, right? And try to make an amends and increase some of that salary if you roll back, right? Give might be 10% to civil workers, to the police, teachers, right? Why is it that our nurses are running away? Why is it that we are experiencing what we call brain drain? Why is it? Why is it that my wife is here in Canada? My wife had left Jamaica partially going over 20 odd years. Why is it that my wife have to seek, right, upward mobility? I know for sure that many nurses, many teachers, many of us who had left, and many of us who still want to leave, it is because they are not seeing in the future upward mobility for them and their families. And so they know they have to be taken away themselves. Now we have a situation with health crisis, right? United States, who is certainly, as it relates to Donald Trump administration, a capitalist, have no love for developing countries. None whatsoever. What they want to come in and they want to get our minerals free. And they want to butt up, right, the Venezuelan Prime Minister and take away him oil and say, yeah.
President, yes.
Yeah, the bottom and tell. You understand? They want to break down international laws. They don't have no respect for Geneva conventional laws. You understand? Nothing can stop them. And this is why we ask the Almighty God of heaven, right? Father God must make a pronouncement as it relates to what is going on, right? And knowing that crony capitalism has no love for us, right? They mash down everything as it relates to developing countries. The IMF standard set and governed by the United States and the CIA, as what you have heard from Melting Pot. It is so true. Remember that the CIA used the IMF and said they are going to make the Jamaica economy scream. What do they mean by that? It's because the control that they have on IMF, right? They have no love for us, right? Let me tell them plain and let them listen. that the crony capitalists of the United States is an extension of lifting up white supremacy. They will never, ever, never, ever in their history. A lot of people don't know this. But remember that the state Virginia is the first state of the United States of America that constitutionalized slavery. Jamaica, let me talk to you. Let me talk to you, Caribbean people. Many of you don't know that it was legal once for states in the United States to take black babies, I want you to listen to me. I have the history. To take black babies and feed them to alligators and crocodiles. How many people know that history? How many people know that history? That there were one state in the South that take black babies, and feed them to crocodiles and alligators. How much of you know that? How much of you know that? You have a state that was trying to develop as it relates to Tulsa, that they call once Black Wall Street. What happened to that? The progression of black people growing back then, black business and black expansion in wealth. What did they do? What did they do with Tulsa? Study your history. And you will know that Andrew Holness is a vampire. Study your history. And you will know that Jamaica Labour Party is crony capitalist. Study your history. And you will know what we are talking about. Can a man know where he is going and don't have any awareness of his history? Can a house build without a solid foundation? So I am saying that all what we are getting as it relates to the level of hatredness that meted out to us, it has a foundation. It is coming from some dark place of evil. And I yield back. Melting pot.
Yeah, man, and you saw true, Sir Lord Byron, because we just make them know so them did burn on Wall Street flat. You understand? Black people have had a rough time, you know. Rough time. Dealing with CIA government, no, we can't survive. Because a CIA government represent the capitalist mentality people of the world, you know. Yeah, and that is what the Jamaica Labour Party is. Yeah, and as Sir Byron tell you, yeah, they will not look after Jamaica interests. And so, Jamaica people suffer whenever the Labour Party is in power. Because when Andrew come out and tell we the reason why him award himself the increase, you know, say to make them work better. Have we seen any better performance? No. It even get worse. Because, I mean, I learned something today, you know, from Minister Julian Robinson, yeah? The digital nomad, yeah? It's something that Barbados have capitalized on. And Jamaica has a larger, you know, tourism industry than Barbados. But Jamaica cannot capitalize on anything because our minister does not work. So Kamina Johnson-Smith, she shouldn't be in that office, that ministry rather. She should never be in that ministry because she's not working for her salary, you know. But Andrew come out and tell us that the higher salary, Jamaica would have benefit more from the politician. Him himself not working. Him doing in office. Him out there sell house and a cut ribbon. Yeah, and I open up plaza and all these things. So we're not getting any work. Tough time in the Ministry of Health, dilapidated, $870 billion, you know. $870 billion. miss from under film ministry alone. Now when you look on Pumvas, transport, energy, science, and telecommunication minister, him is an outright criminal. Him just move $1.4 billion and can't get account for it. Because him can't tell about no bus. Can I bring no bus come at Jamaica? When buy, him get the bus them for little and nothing. And him rob the 1.4 billion. And him give us all type of fictitious story as it relates to amount of bus and when them come and we can't see them all now. So it just goes to show you the level of theft from within the capitalist mentality regime we have in Jamaica. And so the masses of the people will not benefit from such behavior.
You know,
Because the masses of the people in Jamaica is the poor people, the black and the poor. When Michael Manley tell us them alter the balance in favor of. Now that been taken away by the Labour administration, led by a guy who say him come from the poor people, bosom. You understand? But him is the devil from hell, mashing up the place. You can imagine you don't have medical staff in your country to look after your people. Yeah, your citizen. You don't have them, you know. Them leave because our peanut salary. Yeah? Them gonna seek greener pastures. The Cuban them fill the breach in a way. Not by 100%, but adequately enough to keep the system flowing. As it relates to medical care and even the expertise in fixing back the machinery them. You get rid of them because of Rubel and America. The capitalists tell Andrew to destroy the medical fraternity in Jamaica so Jamaican black people can die out. Die of wants of medical care. This is unreal and unbelievable. A wealthy nation is a healthy nation, you know. And a healthy nation is also a wealthy nation. Whichever way you want terms it, but that no exists in Jamaica. Wealth and health no exists in Jamaica, you know.
For those, some people.
God.
For the big boys them, not the
Not for the small people and the big boys them alone of it. You understand? And we are asked ourselves the question then, okay, what kind of society we have in Jamaica? Where taxpayers just pay these guys after salary for nothing. And them just live and show up on the people them. When them for the burden of them family, them the overseas. Them get a sprain toe, them gone to Miami in a hospital. It not show that even them pick them a send way, because education are good. They might educate them kids overseas. Then that not show the taxpayers them say, well, then the government not for them, man. That plain and simple to say, you know. This government is not for the poor people. It's a capitalist mentality government that will always enslave the poor people anywhere them going in the world. Poor people is at the mercy of capitalist regime. So poor people have to understand, so you have to move to the party that is in favor of the poor. And a one party of that mandate is the People's National Party. And I yield back the floor.
Right.
right. Not them.
Lonesome.
Yes.
Beg you just 5 minutes. I want to speak. Hold on a minute. Lonesome, beg you 5 minutes. I want to speak to JM2667. JM26, and let me say this, JM2667. Every person has a right to his or her opinion, right? And you know, I respect your opinion. Let me say that. So I am not bashing you, but I want, you know, in terms of education, I'm going to show you something. So I'm speaking specifically to J2667. Said, Brother Byron, I am gonna diverge with you here because I am from a rural part of Jamaica and I live in New York City and I'm able to own and operate my own business. Plus, I have got my kids and wife here. I stand with USA. Okay, all right. Let me say this to you. First thing, I did not say, right, that you are not to stand with United States. One of the things that I want to show you right now, I am going to show you true history. I want you to appeal to true history. I send Lonesome a document. Lonesome. One of the first, because this is what, because you are asking me now to bring out facts, and I'm going to bring out the facts to you. Now, put up the document, Lonesome.
Right. Remember, put up one before I put up that, because you never see that one here. I don't think them see that one here. So I'm going to put up a one here. See if they can read that one here. Where that mark?
Fugitive Slave Act.
It's a slave act this. From
Yeah, Fugitive Slave Act.
Yeah, you see where it go?
Yeah.
And we can run it and show you what
right.
you know. Because so, when them own you, this is one what them do. And then I put up the other documents too.
Yeah.
Right? See that? You can't see it, Pat?
Yes.
Yeah,
Fugitive Slave Act. Right? So we want, when we have someone, you understand, speak in the chat. You understand? We don't want to go against him. We want to support and educate him. So here what happened.
That one no fear Byron.
Right.
So that slave act, it's terrible. And
we want to support you. We want to educate you. You understand? And we are going to educate you. So watch this. You put up the next one. All right. Now, Alonso, we can't put it up on the big screen, make him see it.
No, me never draw it up on the big screen. You can't see it, man. Me just try to make him can know so them can read it. See it and look. You can read it, but me I want it for them can read it, because we can't read it.
Okay. So what this information that Lonesome is putting up is the 100% proof, right? That down south of the United States, they were delivering our black babies to alligator. That is that information. That is there. That is in their record in the United States. That they were feeding our black babies, right, to their alligators and crocodile. So that is the information, right? And if you read along, you will see that this is evidence, right? And here is a picture. Show them the picture. Show them the picture of the alligator and the baby, with them tied baby. Show them, right? So we are, look, when we come out and we speak from history. Are you telling me now, because you are doing a business in the United States, you are going to bypass all the business because you are doing a business in the United States? Now, let me say this again. Now, slavery was also done in Jamaica too, and it's a horrible part of mankind history. The USA is the better of the lesser evil. Now, my friend, when you said the United States is the better evil, my friend, do you, all right. You know what? I'm not even going to touch history with you.
All right. Read up. Do you know some of the
I am not even going to touch history with you. I am going to give you the current details. Do you know some of the things that Donald Trump being investigated for in the Epstein case file? Do you know some of the things that Donald Trump being investigated for as it relates to the Epstein file? Are you saying that we need to bypass what Donald Trump being accused of and what they are hiding? Donald Trump being accused of, as it relates to the Epstein file, as it relates to molesting 10-year-old girl, 13-year-old girl, 14-year-old girl. This is the man at the helm of the nuclear code in the United States. So you need to do the history. So are you in agreement for someone as it relates to what they are accused of, as it relates to molesting, sexually molesting 10-year-old girl, 13-year-old girl, and because you are doing a business in America, it's okay, you're going to look past and talk about the lesser evil? My friend, if you do the history, if you do your history, you will realize that United States is not the lesser evil, but the greater evil.
True.
If you really study your history, you will recognize that the USA is not the lesser evil, but the greater evil. Do you know, let me give you a next issue. Do you know that Russia, in the history of the world, Russia has never yet, not once in their history, slaved black people? You don't know that. Read up on that. Let me tell you what Russia did. Do you know that Russia, the only European country that paid off several African debts. Do you know that? So these are history that you need to know. These are history. All right. Do you know that around the globe, United States interfere in a lot of people election? They working through their CIA to put puppet government. Do you know these things? My friend.
Him say not argue with nothing what you are talking about. So him know, him just write it the Bible.
Yeah.
Continue live in America and that and Russia. Uncle thing what I like Russia do right now, to what people remember just telling you right now, and it up there right now, we can show Byron. The man them send for some car, Ukraine and mash them up, you know, and them send for some African bill. The man them trick them, say them give them work. And them go up there. Me say I want with all bam pan him, you know. Oh God. Me a laugh, you know, but it's serious. Ukraine capture him. Him a bam, you know. Them a say, you bam up yourself. Them just give them some things and enough of them are dead now. African, stop be licky. Get real. Stop be licky and don't go there. You understand? Yeah, man. So we have to get real. All right. Byron, let me go to that. I wonder. Because we want to mash up Big Mama about this, you know. We don't come after that yet, you know. We don't reach us. But we go to the starting them right now with Robinson. Because Andrew Holness tell a lot of lie. And a long time we have preached it around here, you know. We have show them thing a long time around here, you know. So listen to me. Andrew has said 10 years. Remember Byron, we just show it. We don't know he might go up on stage. 10 budget with no new taxes. How much time we show them so the man raise tax better?
Yeah.
See it now? Yeah, at this moment, you know, we're ball for this long time, then face it with him and make him stop tell lies. This time lying on people. This time lie. Till him start believing them own lies. Watch ya. Look ya.
The hard choices, and I want to look at this chart because the minister used it on Tuesday and said she wanted to explain to the 20-year rules, right? And so yes, it is your chart, and I want to use it to explain to the 20-year rules why those taxes had to be imposed from 2012 to 2015. But I also, there's been this.
Let me stop this now. Let me stop it.
No.
So they put up a chart and look at 2016, how much money we raised in our billions in our tax. 2017, and them showing the PMP from 2015 that them tax, you know, and them show you so them have new taxes, but you still them say no new taxes so much years, but them are show you so in a for them own chart. It has shown you 2016 or 13 billion taxes. 2017, how much billion? It shows you 2020, 16 billion. Yes, still, see that, you know, see that no taxes this. No taxes that, Byron.
Yeah.
In 2020, not 16 billion, what a tax that. And
Yes.
the PMP, 2016, I see that GLP over here, so you know. But them say PMP alone raise new taxes. Me not tell you, say, be a lie, them tell. So them put this and now, so the GLP are put 19 million new taxes. But no 2020 that, brother. No 2016 that the JLP, no 2017 that the JLP. The same thing when we show 2017, 2018 budget. Eh? You saw them lie. But 10 more budget without no new taxes, people. Eh? Look here.
I don't know if I can say lie. About no new tax for 10 years. We've been hearing this misrepresentation that there's been no new tax for 10 years. But then I looked on the minister's chart. So what is in 2016? What is in 2017?
That's a school bus, a new school bus.
I put that 2020. Look on it, see there? So them put 2018, 2019, no new taxes. See them put no new taxes. But one to 2017 to 2018, come and sweat. Them did run 14 billion. Them run 13 in a, see that the JLP in a Byron. See them make a 16 billion in a JLP again. But yes, still them said 10 years, no new taxes. Big Mama, the one of them said the same thing. It was a lie. Now the minister self put up a chart, Byron, and it show you when the taxes, them when them come with taxes. Eh?
Yeah.
You saw them lie, brother?
Exactly.
All right, continue. Continue.
So, Damien, when you go back to Ty Dixon, I want you to ask your constituent, what can go so?
I lie. But not do taxes to spend budget. Eh?
Madam Speaker, the hard choices that we had to make have worked. The PMP established Jamaica's macroeconomic fundamentals under the leadership of then Prime Minister, the most Honorable Portia Simpson Miller.
Julian, I feel good. I say when they run past
Mr. Julian, I feel proud.
Byron, but
Proud
when
I am, man.
stage door, can we not beat them anyway?
Yeah.
And this when you should not knock Andrew, the one of them when they said no new taxes, them one minister put up this, and it show you each time them come up with a range of taxes and how much money. But yes, still them say no new taxes. Look on the ear now, and it show you when a PMP and when PMP bring up the tax, where them cast TMP for drive for them tax here. So it has show the tax, but yes, still no new tax and then come in by Iran. 13 billion in a JLP in a 2016, and that's 14 billion 2017. That's a 2017-2018 budget when Mama Pia tell them to roll it back because you can't stand it. Remember me play it?
Exactly.
And then by 2020 again to 2021, 16 more billion, but you still them say no new taxes for the 10 years, 10 budget. But you still them put up the chart with them tax, so them charge, brother. You know, me tell you, say they fool, you know. Eh?
Flip flop on them, man.
No,
Flip flop.
no. Tell me, Andrew, I say no. What am I gonna say? No new taxes? Eh? Not what this front of, and then put up them charts, you know, brother. And then the PMP chart, this, you know, and the Minister of Finance chart. You see it? See that?
And Minister of Finance, Dr. Peter Phillips. They restore the confidence of our international partners.
Sure.
They put this country back on a credible fiscal path. The economic stability that this government inherited, they benefited from what we built from 2012 to 2016. No, Madam Speaker, if we're going to have a history lesson, we must just do it honestly. We can't pretend that everything on this side has been great, but give the context. Don't come here and give a half story. Leave out your term from 27 to 2011, like nothing never happened. That we just get up in 2012 and inherited some better roses. Give the proper context so that the same 20-year-olds we are talking to will know. Tell the people the truth.
The reduction of poverty, the reduction of unemployment. Let's go back to the 90s.
You don't know it, so we can't.
The internet. Madam Speaker, I need your protection.
Members.
Why not?
You're to start, members. Do you hear that? All right, you say for the PMP that brothers should have cut them off like young members. You hear? Continue. Hear that?
Madam Speaker,
You hear them? You hear? Should I say something to them now, Byron?
Yes.
the international community recognized what the PMP did during that period.
That's right.
Sure.
The then IMF Managing Director, Christine Lagarde, and I quote, "I want to pay tribute to Minister Phillips and his colleagues for what has been a clear change of course,
That's right.
making the hard choices and successfully completing 4 reviews. We never run from it. We never go in on the schoolyard and say we're not take the test. We knew it was difficult. We faced it. We knew it was painful. but we knew it was in the best interest of the country to do so.
No fear.
So I now want to come back to the NHT withdrawal. And I want to remind the House of how the then GLP opposition responded. They didn't simply disagree with the measure, Madam Speaker. They campaigned against it loudly and relentlessly, framing it as an attack on the working class, framing it as an assault on the poor, framing it as a betrayal of the Jamaican people. The person who was the most vocal was the Prime Minister himself. Right? So I want to read what the Prime Minister said in 2015. All right? And this is not artificially, intelligently created. This is the real thing. And I quote, "The GLP does not support the use of NHT funds for purposes other than those for which they were intended. The NHT mandate is clear. Contributors' money held in trust at NHT is to be used for the purposes of the promotion of housing and community development. The GLP has always stood in the vanguard where stewardship of NHT funds are concerned. We are the ones who have always defended NHT and protected the interests of contributors, not the least of which are those thousands of Jamaicans who have been making contributions to the NHT and are yet to access a benefit." Dayton, where can I find that person? The hard choices.
But we can't, Madam Lagarde, because we can't run us so Andrew, we know you watch. So we could just carry, run us so, we don't do tabloid, none at all. And him say it, him tell us say them do the hard thing, and then uno come up and say about things. No, them are come up and uno know, and a 14 again, and them serious. Lagarde. We find Lagarde, IMF. Christine Lagarde. We could just see what him tell us say them do. And remember, she come to Jamaica and she said this. Them to stop it now, man. This is the
As
real
you heard
thing.
earlier, Christine Lagarde, the managing director of the International Monetary Fund (IMF), is in Jamaica on official business. Madame Lagarde, who is a native of France, was elected managing director of the multilateral agency on June 28, 2011, succeeding Dominic Strauss-Kahn. Her visit to Jamaica underscores the fund's support for Jamaica's economic reform program and signals her commitment to assisting the wider Caribbean. Just last
Economic reform system. So, Angela, we and reform and economic. You hear? Look on the ear. Watch it.
Last week, the executive board of the IMF confirmed that Jamaica successfully passed all 4 tests on the year 1 of the extended fund facility. The country is set to receive another $70.9 million, bringing total disbursements to date to $414.4 million.
In the first year of program implementation, key reforms that had been pending for a long time were implemented. In particular, the tax
Julian, stop the man. Julian, you make the juice squeeze out and a drop on the gum. Hold on, man. You know what the lady said? Key policies that for years that did not implement were implemented. Play it back.
Play it back for them, brother. Me I play it back. No, Julia, me read out the parliament. Me I show it. She has said it herself. Play it again.
Reforms that had been pending for a long time were implemented.
I remember I know it's a long time. Them go back to the IMF.
You hear that?
So them stall panic. Let me play it one more time.
So it is PNP who install the policies. Listen back.
Them go borrow the money and never do it. Play it again.
Disbursements to date to $414.4 million.
In the first year of program implementation, key reforms that had been pending for a long time were implemented. The tax incentive legislation approved by
the tax incentive legislation. Here, shall tell you about the legislation.
Big information that the people need to know.
All right.
right? Key policy that was supposed to be implemented was not implemented under the Jamaica Labour Party.
No.
And in 1 year, the People's National Party have implemented them, you know.
But Byron,
You see why we love the PNP.
Byron,
the PNP's
you see what Andrew use, and then Big Mama, when him use his PR and tell the lie. But we have the truth like this. Remember, you know, him just read out the thing from Mother Lagarde, you know. But we have it when she even say it. We have it. Yes.
I beg your peace right there.
Yes,
but Andrew could never claims nothing, you know, him and the Labour Party, you know, because remember them run and hide from IMF, you know. And now talk to IMF. How them for create fiscal discipline and the program and the policy. Them cannot, because them did run and hide after failing 14 consecutive quarters. The next thing what them do was run and hide and completely shut out IMF, so IMF never talked to them in another period there. So this could have only been achieved under the People's National Party, led by Portia Simpson and Dr. Peter Phillips. And there's no two ways about that. Continue, my brother.
But hear this now. You're there still, them use it and them run pan Big Mama them, Charles Davis them say no tax, Big Mama. That's why I say when I can't believe in these people. Actually, you know, I feel it make my blood boil when you hear them sit down and tell all these lies to Jamaican people. If we wake up, me tell you say we not do tabloid run, you know. We keep it real, you know. And we have to wake up for people them, you know. From the slumber, you know, brother. You understand? Yeah. Andrew, the PR is a PR guy. Be a lie, but every lie must get exposed. Watch out.
Date to 414.4 million US
Create
dollars.
Here
In the first year of program implementation, key reforms that had been pending for a long time were implemented.
Okay.
In particular, the tax incentive legislation approved by Parliament in December 2013, and the fiscal rule approved.
The physical rule when it approved, not Andrew Holness. Here or not, at 2014 it approved. Here it is, March. Listen again.
Legislation approved by Parliament in December 2013, and the fiscal rule approved in March 2014.
From March 2014!
Hold on there. So as it relates to what Christine Lagarde said, what we need to ask the people of Jamaica, where was Nigel Clark?
He never in the politics.
Where was Nigel Clark?
None of them. Where were Andrew Holness?
So then, how them I give Nigel Clark to say that Nigel Clark fix the economy? Fix what? Where was Nigel Clark when this happened?
Man.
Where was fix it? Appear them are doing now. Yeah, but Nigel Clark, him come and give Mama P. Him come and say, Portia Simpson and Peter Phillips, him have to give them thanks. Him no over to administration. No. Them pass it in a law, all they do is just follow. See? Them pass it in a law. Make a play about that. Right there, sir. Play it back.
In particular, the tax incentive legislation approved by Parliament in December 2013, and the fiscal rule approved in March 2014.
All right.
But there are other major reforms.
You see the tax legislation thing there? And you see the asset tax, where you see to use? To use that. And right now, Andrew now I let go for that night, you know. And if each up on the other. Hey, Andrew,
Yes. I saw Julian Robinson roll out some policies, you know. Right? Me know him want to take with them, you know.
Him take them, I watch them. I just stick them on.
You're watching.
Me have all of the policy right now, so if him try to keep any of them, me I come knock him with it, you know.
No, I watch
me have
You're watching.
Watch out.
Reforms that are on the must-do list.
Must-do list.
Improving the collection of taxes.
Big Mama.
So that there is no evasion.
Big Mama.
Collection.
Andrew.
Hold on. So that there is no evasion.
Yeah, but
a Big Mama and Andrew Holness share talk about it.
Of course.
Play back again.
No evasion.
So there should be no evasion.
Including improving the collection of taxes.
Yes.
So that there is no evasion.
Okay.
And there is collection.
Who they evade the taxes?
Big Mama. Big Nasty, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man, then.
All right.
Continue.
the public sector and improving the business climate in order to pursue the attractiveness of Jamaica, which has caused foreign direct investment to significantly improve and increase over the last 12 months. Consistent implementation of these reforms will boost investor confidence and growth.
We're making further improvements in the business environment and implementing major projects in a timely way to serve as catalysts for growth and development. It is also the shared commitment of the government and the IMF that vital social safety net programs be maintained to protect the most vulnerable as we press ahead with economic transformation.
Who deal with it? Continue.
Madame Lagarde also responded to concerns about the slide in the value of the Jamaican dollar.
Well, I think you have to look back to where we were a year ago.
Hear this now.
Where growth was collapsing, employment was going up.
Hold on, play back again.
All right. You're jumping all the places there. I'm going to be taking. You get it back up. Well, I'm going to play it back. You tell everything.
Play it back again.
I'll play it back. Can you hear ya?
Madame Lagarde also responded to concerns about the slide in the value of the Jamaican dollar.
Well, I think you have to look back to where we were a year ago.
Where
growth was collapsing, employment was going up, where reserves were running out, where Jamaica was...
How many of you have reserve? I'm going to take it and build back. And yes, still I'm going to talk about, remember, we build reserve, we never, them did run out.
Man, them too lie, man.
Hey,
the man, them too lie. Because hold on, brother. Let me just say something. Let me just say something.
Flavor, when she was talking, you know, me say, everything in my body, I cut me in a vein. Everything in my body, I cut up in it. And I say the woman are wicked and evil, you know.
Yeah, man. I don't get it for right.
To build back this economy, and you're up here talking about net international reserve. You understand? Like, come on, he created them top there.
But yeah, let me ask you now.
Yeah, go ahead, Melting Pot.
Just look at who Christine Lagarde address. Are the People's National Party members, them, you know.
All right.
And business community, you know. Yeah. You may not see Andrew Holness there. She never talked to Andrew Holness, Nigel Clark, and none of them. The picture show you who I get the commendation for the turnaround of the economy. Where did it collapse 1 year ago?
Yeah.
Andrew to lie. And Jamaican people must just look at this video and just know who is responsible and who have all the accolades as it relates to turning around back the economy and putting back life into the economy. It is the People's National Party led by Portia Lucretia Miller, along with Peter Phillips and Sir Mark Jefferson Golding. That administration at the time was charged with the responsibility of carrying out the IMF mandate as it relates to the fiscal discipline, and Jamaica surpassed that in no uncertain manner. That Jamaica was seen as the beacon of light shining within the third world country, and they wanted to use the Jamaican model to expand it throughout all the third world country. So Andrew Holness not have no talk as it relates to the fiscal discipline. Nigel Clark, none of them not have no talk. And Jamaican people, whenever they want to know the truth about this fiscal discipline, just refer to this video with Christine Lagarde. It will tell you.
All right, Melting Pot and Lonesome. I'm going to say something now which is 100% facts.
Yes.
Any old Jamaican people did not vote out Portia Simpson.
Them good.
Well, I know. Any of them did not vote out Portia Simpson. We would start to run similarly with Singapore. Allow me to tell you.
Definitely.
Let me tell you why. Let me tell you the reason why. If Portia Simpson was still in power, one of the first things that will never ever happen we wouldn't have $3 trillion unaccounted for.
No.
Portia Simpson would have sent a guy to prison. Me say, Portia Simpson would have sent a guy to prison. A lot of them don't know that Portia Simpson herself, when it was unpopular amongst many politicians, Portia Simpson single-handedly sent Jack Smith to prison. I not tell you that.
Yes, yeah, man.
No, serious thing.
Not tell you that.
Yeah,
No,
man.
sir.
Portia Simpson.
Them got prison man. Buy America money.
Jack Smith robbed the labor money. And Portia Simpson said, not under her dead body. She's going to stand up and make someone abuse the poor people like that. Right? And I am telling you that Portia Simpson step out and fight. Even when it was unpopular amongst politicians. Portia Simpson said she don't care. She has sent him to prison for taxpayers' money. So think of what me I said Jamaica. Henry or Portia Simpson was not voted out, Jamaica would have advanced in so much in 1 year as it relates to Miss Lagarde, what Miss Lagarde has said. Portia Simpson achieved great physical discipline. You understand? I had shown the documentation where Portia Simpson administration was start eating away as it relates to the importation bill. We were reducing the importation bill and increasing our export. So just imagine if Portia Simpson was allowed to be there. Yeah. Jamaica would be a paradise, real paradise. But me say, listen to me. Jamaica people beat themselves. And they are getting their true payment for what they have done. Trust me, they have damaged themselves. They have self-inflicted. The Jamaican people have been self-inflicted to now bring in. Look who we are dealing with now. Look who is at the helm. Bishop, his statutory declaration cannot be certified.
Be alive.
His statutory declaration cannot be certified.
Be alive vote.
Yo, me say Jamaica, all of them people who support Andrew Holness, me tell us something, say, them have a special thing to deal with Father God. Because, trust me, them have to get a beating.
Baron.
Yes.
I have because you see Julian talk today, and him tell him go yes, so, and him go to the tax. People might show now, all this show when them say him now roll back the tax, Yes, still them say 10 budget without new tax. Yes, still them finance minister push it up and show you how much tax them dry in a wish year. You saw them live, brother?
Yeah.
But them that really come and just look on the people, them do every single one of them, including Big Mama and Ras Davis. No new taxes. I make them million when with that. How do you feel now? When the same finance minister kind of finance, finance minister put up the at screen there and I show you when them draw tax the JLP. Continue.
Bleeding its reserves in order to support a currency that was clearly overvalued.
Do you hear that?
So as a result of that, and to give all levers to the Jamaican authorities, and I'm talking here about the finance minister and the governor of central bank, it was necessary to determine a devaluation of the currency so that it could be at the right level of appreciation. It was clearly overappreciated. A lot has been done. There's still a little way to go, not much.
Just a little way
to go, but it's clearly on a net value that you have to determine that.
Julian, there now.
I don't like to use the word devaluation, and I prefer to use the word right valuation, because it may well be down the road, as the program proceeds, as growth picks up, and as the reserves build up, that it will not be devaluation forever, and it might
revalue. Not on the Andrew one is the right
value.
So when them get it to 120 like 121, they want 160, 160 odd. Every minute them have to tap it up. If you try to keep it so reach 200, ma'am.
It has to do with determining the right currency level on the basis of production factors, on the basis of inflation differential, on the basis of competitiveness factors. Jamaica has the IMF full support.
Yes,
We
they
stand
are.
ready to help in any way we can. But of course, it is up to the Jamaicans, with the public and private sector working in close harmony,
You
to
hear?
build a bright future.
Jamaica
Ah.
thanks Madame Lagarde
Ah,
and her team for the policy advice, technical assistance, and financial support, which have provided valuable contribution. It proved valuable in our continuing quest for economic prosperity.
All right, so we could just move that because we want to put something else fast here. So again, because we just answer Julian thing. So me show now, Madame Lagarde herself come deal with it herself. Yeah, as she sign in, she come deal with it and say Jamaica is on the right track now. Remember, we never know we did leave IMF from 1995. We set at 2009 of them go back and get money 2010, and by 1 year. Debt to GDP went up to 148%. 1 year. 1 year. So if you, everything where you work, where you produce for your country, equal 100%, you still want 40, around 40 more much, figure pay off that. So we couldn't survive. That's how them run it up to, and them not pay down nothing by the way. So them default. They mash up the country and leave it. Eh? And then come now and say them rescue it. These are lies. But everything have to come out. Can me say them find and today, yesterday, put up a chart and it show you. Remember put up one more thing. And then I play two more, Julian. One more thing. Hardly, sir. Hardly. I put up hardly, sir. Yeah, so better. All right, hardly, sir. Portia telling me. Remember put up a one at first. Remember play two of them. Well, look on this. Look on
Not
this.
spared. The Andrew Holness administration will be taking from Jamaicans as the government hunts for additional funds to plug a budget deficit of approximately $27.4 billion. On Thursday, Finance Minister Audley Shaw opened the 2017-2018 budget debate in Gordon House, but he was singing a tune most Jamaicans didn't want to hear, an array of new taxes. Mr. Shaw announced a $13.5 billion tax package. The revenue measures are needed to replace the over $14 billion the government lost by giving a tax break to PAYE workers who earn up to $1.5 million annually. So where will the additional monies come from? The government's tax revenue measures include a special consumption tax on gasoline that will take effect on March 15. The government will also be taxing alcoholic beverages, which will yield $0.403 billion and takes effect on March 13. Meanwhile, the increase on gasoline ranges from 43 cents to $7.36. The new gas tax is expected to rake in approximately $7.5 billion. There will be a 16.5% GCT on group health insurance.
I remember when gas raised, light bill go up and everything, you know. And yes, still them I said them never raise no tax at 10. And I like me say we have everything here. And then them one finance minister will put up the 2016 how much money them raise. 2017, a matter of fact, them go to 13.5, them get 14 billion. 2020 again, 16 billion. But yes, still no new taxes, brother. You saw them right?
Hold on, Wayne.
Also,
Wayne, hold on a little. Let me ask you a question. Then the year them where you said she have no new tax. She lied there so too, you know. Tax there enough, them put that there.
No, right.
Every year them have tax, them raise tax.
No,
every almighty year.
So the tax will go up because automatically on set it will go up. That's why them reach $1.8 trillion. So when them say no new taxes from 2016 and Big Mama them run out, don't I idiot? You know, so when them put out, don't feel now, when I say Big Mama, people now make them come and chat to now again and say, well, the government mislead. You know, I lie too because you can't go look on the thing on yourself. Oh, me have the whole of them here. When you just evil I get paid and do evilness. You never charge for treason. You don't like that. You understand? Continue. See the man here? When people, what Adisa say, he might cut tax and say there will be an increase. Listen him. Can I push a tax? Listen.
special consumption tax in respect of tobacco
Okay.
and tobacco products.
She might raise tax for all kind of things there. See how Dr. Crop side I am there. See them here?
And Mr. Speaker, it is expected that the increase on cigarettes
The increase, much.
and a revenue of $826 million.
So nearly
And there's
$1
also a
billion
20% increase on motor vehicle licenses and fees.
There will be an across-the-board increase of 20%
Hear this.
on motor vehicle licenses and allied fees.
That's why it moved from this I go way up there, so because our motor vehicle license, your fee and everything in raise. So you send them a new taxes, brother. No, all the shardis. Hold on, Byron. In my wife, I PMP this, I raise tax. No, me not want to know this. Eh? Yeah, because me no, because them say no new tax. Andrew only say it in 10 years now. No,
PLI and PR.
Effect March 13, and this will yield $464 million. Mr. Speaker, there will be the reimposition of withholding.
Loss. You have to be careful when you talk, because when you talk to we on us, we not take them kind of talk, we take it for insult and disrespect. If you know where you talk here, because we put people outside. Remember, I pay super granddad. You're going outside, but it's a piece of shit. You have to know where you talk, so run here. I'll pay super granddad on here. We need the Titans, be careful. Don't tell nobody about them talk too much and them this and that, you're too enough. You understand? Continue.
Tax on general insurance premiums paid by Jamaican residents to non-residents at a rate of 16%.
Yeah, there.
This used to be the case.
Drop off in glasses.
A couple of years ago, it was removed. So that if you're buying insurance in Jamaica, you'd have to pay DCG.
Okay.
If you're buying insurance from a foreign company, this requirement was removed a couple of years ago. Well, we want fairness across the board.
In the meantime, the government is relying on revenue and grant inflows totaling $526 billion to offset its $715 billion budget for the 2017-2018 fiscal year.
So when them say they never have no tax, let me show Mama pay a bad for the tax now, brothers. And then we'll start play Julian again, because when Julian attack, we are back it up with vigil and everything in the house.
Love it, lonesome. Love how you present the facts.
What do you mean when you say, brother man? When them talk, them dead in the house, we love them beat them, but we are show them the people them say, when them just say no taxes was a lie. Mama P. Yeah, Mama P, I said the poor can't take it no more, yeah?
This week in Jamaica Now, the Swan Song, Portia Simpson Miller makes her final budget contribution as opposition leader. She has thanked Jamaicans for their support and sacrifice, but bashed the government over its tax package. Finance Minister Audrey Shaw says no.
Over reduced tax or over tax package. So Andrew Holness, why you come and tell people 10 budget without new taxes? But you still not put it on show. So when we raise taxes are 2020, 2016, 2017, 2018 budget, So when you put 2017 or 2017, 2018, 2020 or 2020, 2021, see? Continue.
No rollback of the new taxes. Western Hanover MP Ian Hales and Office of the Contractor General in legal battle over controversial report. The latest in the arrest of the Tambourine Army co-founder, and NCB suspends fee for dormant accounts. I'm Damian Mitchell, and this is Jamaica Now. The opposition leader Portia Simpson Miller this week used her final address to the parliament as a political leader to bash the government's $13.5 billion tax package, describing it as unconscionable and cruel.
Okay.
Mrs. Simpson Miller said the budget undermines the principles of equality, fairness and balance, and puts unnecessary pressure on Jamaicans, and called for the rollback of the taxes.
This budget will increase the hardship on the vulnerable and bring the middle class to the brink of poverty. This budget will push small businesses to the brink of disaster. They can't take anymore.
Mrs. Simpson Miller asserted that the administration's version of prosperity is a fleeting illusion to be pursued but never attained. And before her broadside on the budget, Mrs. Simpson Miller described the occasion of her final address as bittersweet. She said her heart was overflowing with gratitude and expressed thanks to Jamaicans at home and abroad for their love and support.
Mr. Speaker, what a political life I have had. I've seen the good, the bad, the happy, and the sad. But above all, I have had an incredible journey of service to my beloved people and the country.
Mrs. Simpson Miller will step down on April 2 as opposition leader to allow for the ascent of Dr. Peter Phillips.
All right.
Meanwhile, the Finance Minister Audley Shaw says the government will stand by its tax package. Critics have argued that the taxes, especially the GCT on group health insurance and electricity, will be burdensome and will cause hardships on poor Jamaicans. But Mr. Shaw says every Jamaican has a responsibility in the prosperity mission of the Andrew Holness administration.
In the case of this group health insurance, is an opportunity for the companies to see themselves playing their own part in helping to encourage further worker productivity by saying, listen, we are making here another contribution to you of $700 or $800 a month to preserve your health insurance, even as you are taking home more money in your pockets because of the government's policies.
The St. Andrew Northwestern MP Derek...
Come over, we don't want to slow on that.
Lonesome.
Yes.
Let me tell the people something as it relates to Ardnisha. Right? And I love how you displayed those two clips.
Yes, ma'am.
To show you the heart of Portia Simpson. The love that she has for poor people. Defender of the poor. And that is one of the reasons why Portia Simpson fought vigorously to send Jack Simmet to prison. I don't want people to forget that. It is telling you that Portia Simpson don't play. Let me say something. You know, one of the reasons, Jamaica, listen to me now, and I'm speaking the truth and nothing but the truth. Jamaica, you know, one of the reasons why they don't want to show the FINSAC report.
That's right.
Audley Shaw that you have just heard. He is one of the reasons as to why Andrew Holness administration held on to the FINSAC report. Audley Shaw being bailed out. Being bailed out. Audley Shaw is one of the, let me say this loud and clear. And they know it is the truth. Audley Shaw is one of them who caused FINSAC to be implemented. Audley Shaw is one of them. Now, ask yourself, Jamaica. Let me speak to you in clear terms. Ask yourself, Jamaica, that for Andrew Holness, who went on the political campaign and said, I want to show you the viciousness of Andrew Holness and how vindictive they are. Right? And I want to tell you that the traits that you have seen exhibiting by Andrew Holness is the same traits being exhibited by Donald Trump. The same traits, nothing different. Now, watch this, Jamaica. Andrew Holness, as it relates to FINSAC report, to show you how conniving he is as a scammer, acted as if he wants the FINSAC report to get into, use it as a campaign plot, right? To sell himself as someone who is defending, right, the truths, the truthfulness about FINSAC. Cleverly, he is the one that paid for the FINSAC report to be done. Listen, Jamaica. Go back and do your research. It is the JLP who paid for the FINSAC report to be done. Watch this now, people. When the forensic investigators completed the FINSAC report and gave it to the Jamaica Labour Party, guess what? Guess what, people?
They buried it.
They buried it.
They buried it.
They 513 it.
Yes.
They 513 it. You know what I'm saying? Rotted judge.
Them name, man.
Can't push out this.
Him owe to Iran.
Hold on.
Him owe. I understand self for a bag of money in my flight.
I'm telling people now.
Yeah,
Rotted judge.
Criminal to man. Yeah,
Can't push out this. The people them go see say it started from Edward Siaga.
And them, the one of them in it. Yes.
And guess who involved in it? From them damn there. You cross carry.
Yeah, man.
You, the same you cross carry. That makes up with them.
One of them in it. One of them.
You cross carry.
Pumbal, big up yourself.
Dan Crawford.
And them thing there. One of them in it.
The whole of them mix up. All right. Let me show Jamaica something. The other day, me a melting pot. Don't look how hardly sharp criminal are moving. Rydell Rowe. Rydell Rowe. Who's a criminal?
Gunman pastor.
Him hardly sharp the power with him. Him say Andrew Holness have 50 bank account.
Yeah, man.
No, you know what Rydell Rowe do now? Because the Titans burn Dushi and Savada. Because we burn out Dushi and Savada and show Jamaican people said this is one of Andrew Holness' faces.
Yes, man. It's a wash.
Andrew Holness is rinsing the money through. Now, guess what, Jamaica? It's a new thing Andrew Holness is shaping. The same criminal, Rydell Rowe. They're on a mission now, claim say, he might go start up banking.
Hey, but look at my move better. You see, look at the man. You see the man who come in my car, professor, in that uncle on Facebook. That man is a criminal, you know. Right. Government pastor, listen, the two of them are not the criminal, you know.
Hold on, I'm telling people what they're going with. I'm telling people what they're going.
Yes.
Because the People's National Party of the PAC account, the PAC committee, sorry, and the PAAC committee, and then realize say SSL gone down. The reason why I highlight this, because these situations is where they get most of their campaign funding from.
Yeah, man.
SSL, right? Because SSL damage, right? Because we call out Dushi and Savadia, right? Andrew Holness, they try to look ways and means, you understand, for hide off your money, you know. So Rydell Rowe, where Rydell Rowe? Rydell Rowe, right? Oh, the Jamaica Labour Party administration have Rydell Rowe to influence people. Rydell Rowe supposed to be in a prison, you know, people.
Of course.
Yeah. Rydell Rowe was charged for robbery with aggravation.
Yeah, it's there.
Like Jamaican people, I don't joke this, you know.
Let me show them now.
You don't want like say, you understand now, come out with some gimmicks. I don't know gimmicks this, you know. Mr. Rydell Rowe,
yeah, man,
charged for robbery with aggravation. And guess what? Found guilty, you know. Jamaica want to listen to me, you know. Rydell Rowe found guilty, you know. For some miracle. Some miracle. Rydell Rowe is out, you know. And Rydell Rowe has not gone to prison, you know. As a matter of fact, the court sent out order for Rydell Rowe to be arrested, you know. The court sent out bench warrant for Rydell Rowe to be arrested, you know. And now, Rydell Rowe can't arrest unnecessary criminality people. Look for Patrick Bailey. I know Patrick Bailey cannot be investigating unnecessary criminality. Unnecessary plain criminality. No. Not to touch the clue of a fit. no realize that fit sit down on the report. But can't free Andrew.
My finger quick, put on the bed. I know why you leave.
As it relates to what Fida look pan. Can't free. See that Jamaican people? Pastor arrested while preaching. Right? This is the Jamaica Star. 2011, you know. See that? See that? Right?
Ride the law. Otherwise, police ride the law, otherwise called profit.
Right?
But this is illegal position. Me open that show firearm and thing him out a criminal pastor.
Well, at this money, they make the corruption punch them for Audrey Shine. They sweeten up corruption punch for Audrey Shine. See people.
See that?
A pastor was on Tuesday arrested by the Manchester police while he was preaching at church on Ward Avenue, Mandeville. The police said that Ryder Rowe, otherwise called Prophet, was charged for illegal possession of firearm and robbery with aggravation in 2008 and was convicted on both offenses. However, according to reports, he appealed both cases and granted bail. Since then, the police say the pastor has not returned to court. Right? No, people. The Jamaican Labour Party have
read the last part of the now. I'll show them something. Read the last part.
Since then, the police say the pastor has not returned to court. Right? It is reported that the Court of Appeal made an order that he be arrested and taken to prison to serve his sentence. No, let me ask. No,
preach.
No, look here.
Pastor preach a criminal.
Look here, Jamaica.
All right.
Let me talk some things, you know.
We are showing you now.
Okay. Hold on. Me no come out and speak and look here. Yes, if I want mystic sensation, open him out and yeah, man, a true one. I am not in the business in terms of saying me I carry down government. Remember, I love Jamaica, you know. I love my people, you know. I fight and defend my people, you know. Me love me Jamaican people, you know. So you believe, say no, I was going to see a good government and just tear down the government like that. No, me I tell you, I want the Jamaican people about Andrew Holness, you know, and them administration, you know. They are criminals. I mean, listen, I'm not killing myself, you know. Me just tell you as it is. They are criminals. Many people don't want to say it. I mean, understand that. Me not beat them down if they don't want to say it. You understand? Because them still in a Jamaican, you don't know anything set. You understand? But you know, upon the Titans, we have to tell the truth. Right? Andrew Holness, as several of the members of parliament under the JLP administration, they are criminals, plain criminals. Now, let me answer you a question. I want to know reason within yourself. Can you imagine the dark cloud that hang over the Prime Minister? Going more than 3-4 years. Now, if FID didn't have anything over there to clear him, to vindicate him, he would have vindicated.
Long
time. Allow me to tell you something.
Long time.
Allow me to tell Pat.
No, sir. We have gone up to long time.
If FID didn't have anything over there to clear the Prime, you realize that TJ can't talk. Both FID and TJ now say nothing. What are they waiting on? Remember, if the Prime Minister, you understand, was innocent and they found anything to vindicate the Prime Minister, they would have come out and they would have spoken up long time to free up the... Don't remember, the people, the Prime Minister is facing another statutory declaration, you know. Now, Jamaican people, you really go sit down. And when the statutory declaration come out, we're going to see that Mark Golding again certified, and the Prime Minister not certified, and FID not saying anything, and TAJ not saying anything, and Uno, sit down with it. Hey, well, let me tell you something. The Titans are starting the campaign from up here, you know. When the statutory declaration they come out, we are starting it from way up north and carry it down in the Caribbean. We now work with him no longer. So we keep stay there. But see, at 2026, Father God will release the judgment. 2026, Father God will release the judgment. You know, see what they go on over Iran? House a bus over there. Backside I get beaten over there. I may stop talking, me heel back.
Yes. Pat.
Yeah,
yes, man.
I really talk. You're making us serve Iran. Because, you know, Andrew knows him tie up in a corruption, you know. Yeah. And even who him send go feed, yeah, can't protect him.
Can't protect him. That's the point. That's the point.
Cannot protect him. Because him send Dennis Chung go there specifically for that, you know, to protect him. You understand? But Dennis Chung cannot protect Andrew. Because whenever Andrew
read that, sorry, Pat, just read that and watch the time when it come in. I remember Andrew took yes when it come in.
All right. Yeah, the feds don't want to disrupt the government. All information is at Mocha. 10 p.m. 10 p.m.
We talk to Mocha. We talk to everybody one time, you know, so we know what going on.
No, our thing different, you know. Our thing different, you know, Wayne. Remember when the eagle go out, you know, and the eagle land, you know. The eagle gather information and come back home with everything intact.
Of course.
Seal up. No tabloid. You understand?
Of course.
Andrew has a serious problem. And we know that from long time. Yeah? That's why Andrew couldn't afford to lose the election, because I know if him lose him going to prison. So he have to use all mechanism available to steal the election. And does that keep Andrew out of prison? You understand? Yeah. And him use people like Dushan Shabadia, Gladspole, a.k.a. Tadpole Green, you know, because I not call him the Brown in around here, so you know.
Yeah, man.
Because Brown are no clown, you know. And that one there is a certain clown. You understand?
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So certain people Andrew use to steal the election. Yeah. Just to stay out of prison. But all when everything is said and done, Andrew still have to go to prison. Yeah, if him not go to prison by the hook, he might go by the crook. You understand? Him thinks that United States can't save him, you know. But Donald Trump in a serious trouble come midterm election. Donald Trump himself might end up in a prison. But him and Andrew Parr and Rubio, because Andrew feel like, so well then, as long as him the around United States president, if him govern. But when no know say, Trump no deal with friendship. Trump deal with interest. Yeah? So what Trump do is use Andrew to make America great again. Because right now we don't know. But Andrew have to pay over to Trump. For Trump not come for him already, you know. So a whole heap was suffering to me, gone. Yeah? But Andrew Holness is a guy where I have to go to prison. Because Andrew Holness, for him coming to politics, him cannot be certified. So we know him a crook. Right there and then. From 1998 people, Andrew cannot be certified. You understand? Because Andrew never mentioned none at all the 47 million. Plus the tax them and other things we have. All them shell company. And recently Andrew start mentioning them things there, you know. So that constitute the whole fact of the matter. Say Andrew has never been certified. But him remain the Prime Minister of the country. Now we are asked how much more uncertified, you know, him can have before him go to prison. We want to ask the question, you know. How much more uncertified declaration Andrew can have before him end up in a prison? Because this has to come to us to an end. Every year, Sir Mark Jefferson Golden, him certified. Yeah? Him sending him thing, him statutory declaration, and them look upon it and everything alright, him certified. Andrew cannot be certified. And so, by extension, size 14 cannot be certified as well. Because size 14 has gone through various, you know, construction sites, you know, doing all type of construction work, benefiting immensely. And where does size 14 get all these wealth from? that she can have all certain project value 800 million. Unbelievable. So we ask the question, what going on in Jamaica? Is it that the holiness are untouchable? Who is protecting the holiness? Because I know if anyone did under Portia Simpson administration, PJ Patterson administration, or Sir Michael Manley administration, and them cannot be certified, they would have to leave the party. But several members in the Jamaica Labour Party cannot be certified, you know. Yeah, several of them cannot be certified. But none of them leave. We see how people get charged and return back in our politics as junior minister in a justice ministry. And them things are right. Those things are, you know, inadequate as it relates to how the Jamaica Labour Party operate. Them operate on an inadequate basis where there is no leadership, yeah, and there is no individual to say enough is enough, and we need to stop this daily behavior of pilfering the taxpayers' money through nepotism and cronyism and through corruption like avoiding tax and all these things. Because remember, I know people, Andrew Holness, you know, has been avoiding tax for a long while, Big Mama as well, and several more I'm friend them avoiding tax. No, a country can't run without the tax. Country can't run without the tax, you know. So I want to ask the question, yeah, Andrew Holness at the head of the government in Jamaica, how him allow so much people to evade the tax man by not complying? And this is why Julian Robinson have to make mention of the new system that will protect that tax package being paid over to the government. Exactly. The electronic invoice system, and I welcome that.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
That electronic invoice system is definitely needed in Jamaica, because I know such system will directly upload to the tax administrator of Jamaica, and by extension, you know, a man can't hide him tax when I'm doing business place, you know. Like them used car dealer, yeah. The 11 of them. Yeah. Them have tax mounting up to $4 billion between the 11 of them. So we are asked the question, then Andrew Holness now work for the money where him say him deserve if we pay him more. We don't get no work for that. That is a scam again. That was a big time scam by Andrew Holness and his administration. Exactly. So I cut them salary. Yeah. But all these system what Jamaica should have benefit from as it relates to tax, it's not working. No. And the Andrew Holness administration, that now works. So one if Andrew go collect them tax, they one away as kickback. Oh, TAJ now move after these people. Why TAJ now pursue them? Who is stopping TAJ from pursuing the tax that these corporate entity has been avoiding? Who? That's $1 million question.
That definitely going to kick back and try and give assistance to campaign financing.
Definitely. We know that I go a kickback, Sir Byron.
Yeah.
Because we are talking about, all right, 11 car use dealer. Yeah. 4 billion in a tax over the period of time where they are evade. Then somebody must have collect that, man. And that are 4 billion, you know, Jamaican dollars, you know. Then how a government would allow that to stay out there and not come in our system? Oh, unless a kickback.
Exactly.
So Andrew I do a whole heap of wrong in the country. Because remember, you know, them things you can't go on without Andrew Holness approval, you know. Because Andrew have to do him fiscal budget, yeah? Where him draft up a thing, you understand? If you know so well, then all right. I project this and that, so I do a projected budget before I do the real budget. Because I know where I come in. That's how I'm shaping budget, you know. Him know where out there and where to come in. So him shaping budget around that, you know. So Andrew must know about this. And this is the reason why TAJ not pursuing these tax. If you know, the big people were the tax, you know. The little man will have him land, will have to pay him land tax and him car tax. The man, the thing have to pay up, you know. I be a big man at evade tax in Jamaica, like them used car dealer and many more, like NNN entity, like Andrew himself, and many more. Can I just them look name where I can a wide pool of people not paying tax in Jamaica. And this is why the economy popped down. This is why the poor people have to bear the brunt of the tax annually. So Andrew can't tell about him not bringing new tax. Or he would have raised the budget to it there. Where would I get the money from who put the budget to it there? Andrew will use all NHT money, you know, to balance out thing, you know, because I'm now collect the tax them. The tax now go directly to the TAJ. You understand? So Andrew can have a knowledge of what kind of tax him have on the table. Because Andrew will collect all of them. That's my perception. Yeah? My perception, melting pot. Andrew is collecting those tax. You don't tell me if you're in charge of something. You don't must know it a run. If it a run good or bad. At the state where it is currently, it's running bad. So Andrew would have to know, Andrew, why the tax is not being paid over. Big Mama tax, we have been saying it and you listen to the program. Why Big Mama tax 1.5 billion don't pay? And we are saying another 4 billion or so. A 5.5 billion that, you know. And you want to mention it, Andrew. You want to mention it, you know. On the 5.5, so you see so much money out there. You see so much money out there. But yet still, the poor people now have to come and fill the breach. That is what the poor people are doing. So who collecting these uncollected tax? And we want to know, you know, because we have to do a public inquiry into this, you know. Yeah, Titans have got to do a public inquiry. Because we want to know more. So we have to get on to probably tax authority administrator them. Why them not collecting the tax? Who is preventing them from collecting the tax? That is the $1 million question where we have to focus on. Because tax run the country. Yeah? And a tax help to boost the economy so you can deal with social service and all these things. You understand? And if it not collect, then we want to know why. Because we know the little man with them house and them little business have to pay. Up to the vendor, them have to pay them tax. So why the big people them not pay them tax? And who benefiting? And under what type of resource? Because under the People's National Party, we never have so much money out there going outstanding for tax, you know. No. Me see which part them go. And even the people them were owe water rate, them dig out them meter. Me see it down in the west. Them did it on a campaign trail. Where them just dig out meter, go on. Because them people are not paying them water rate. Yeah? So why the people them when I pay them corporate tax still allowed to operate? Me not see the logics in that, you know. I mean want to know that I go. Yeah, because I can't see where a guy who we know say, you know, him have a criminal trace about him from him a young boy. Yeah, because Andrew come in politics a young boy, you know. And from Andrew come in, Andrew has show the tendency say he's a criminal. I'm coming to politics with 47 million. I've been on 25-year-old at the time. Supposed to have 47 million sit down pan. But you never have a job. You know, come from a wealthy family. So Andrew has shown me say I'm a criminal from then. He have taxi. All various type of amount of taxi. I don't know which one, but he have taxi. Yeah. And he have also some shell company. Yeah, several of them where Jamaican now benefit from, Jamaican know about. Them overseas in St. Lucia till them becomes knowledgeable to Jamaican. Yeah? And them do all type of business and you have to lend money. And you have a loan investment place where you go and you borrow money. So we don't know where we're going. It's bad. You understand? And these things now have to come to an end because this is the only way Jamaica can get up, and start move again, Right now, Jamaica lame. The country lame. The country has been purged with corruption by Andrew Holness and his administration. It's like right through all of the ministry them. I just that a go on. The money are move left, right, and center. $3 trillion gone. Yeah, unaccounted for. Nobody can get no trace of it. No procurement for 11 years. No government ministry now sending up. So it's a mafia thing around the country. Mafia. And we have to call a spade a spade. So these mafia now have time for them lift up out of the place, man, and find themselves behind the bars. Because we can't have a mafia administration around a country. Yeah? Where the people them are going to benefit. Them can't benefit. Because the mafia want everything for himself, It's not a mafia like Robin Hood, No, him not deal with the poor. This mafia just take things for himself. Yeah, and them cronies them. And leave the poor suffer. So we are telling Jamaican poor people say, Lego the Labour Party. A time on a release on the hand half of them. Stop take them hand out. Stop support them. Vote for a party where I come change the landscape of the politics. Vote for a party where I come hold some criminal accountable and put them behind bars and take back the wealth and put it back in your basket so you can start eat food around the table again. Because if Jamaica get the amount of wealth where them people are amassing, between them top politicians over the GLP side, You know how much food up on the poor people table once again? A whole heap of food come back on the table and half you run and a beg a boy nothing. We not take a boy hand out again. We can't start provide for yourself. So I want to know how long we have to wait for Andrew. Yeah, to care something come go on when you could have it at no one disposal every day. Use it how you want to use it because the economy grow back itself again where everybody can participate and the table full of food again. Right now, Jamaican people table now have no food, It don't have no food. Because the people them cannot buy the food at the high exorbitant price. Yeah, and remember, them now have a job to begin with. And to make sure no them have the job that are available in Jamaica. It's been given to foreigners. Jamaican people must deal with a thing called hustling. And one of the hustling is to find the politician them and beg them. And their mentality that the guy of the country. You understand? And we have said that no good because they said individually I promised Jamaican first world country by 2030. Him promised the people and prosperity. No, this cannot be prosperity. And sure no, the country not heading towards a first world country by 2030. Under the current scheme of administration where them are thief everything. So we are called for the TAJ. Yeah, come out and tell the nation what is hindering the tax collection. And I yield back the floor to you, my brother.
All right, I mean, now cut back some of them things, because what I have to deal with big mama and the people, and it's very serious, them for charging for treason. Oh, the Cuban, what am I talk about? I'm going to knock up some more of the Julian thing before I go into this. But I'm going to show you, say, a lie big mama tell, say the people them under bandage at Jamaica, I'm going to show you all them party. The nurse and the doctor, them a party in a Jamaica. Yeah, me I can show you. Say the people them are free, them the bandage up. Like the lies where Big Mama pick up with Rubio and attack. Me I can show you that right now. Just give me play a couple more of the Julian Robinson or so. And then we will deal with that. Watch ya.
Because of how badly the JLP dealt with the IMF agreement, Jamaica was effectively shut out of the international capital markets. Sure. Our international financial partners had lost confidence in the country's financial management. We inherited that situation. and had to renegotiate the IMF agreements from a position of considerable weakness. That agreement was one of the most demanding fiscal programs ever imposed on any country borrowing from the fund. There was a primary surplus target set of 7% that Jamaica was 7.5% that Jamaica was required to maintain, which was among the highest ever demanded by an IMF agreement. In fact, it was higher than what was demanded of Greece during its own debt crisis. That is the mountain we were given to climb. The NHT withdrawal at that time was one part of a broader package of measures designed to meet that primary surplus requirement. It was not a decision taken lightly or casually. It was a hard choice made in extraordinary circumstances with the explicit understanding that it was temporary. No. The same reason that drove the NHT withdrawal in 2013 is the same reason that drove the broader package of revenue.
Continue.
$1 billion levy on sugary drinks specifically, because the government has justified it as a public health measure. And that justification deserves examination. And let me say from the outset, we share the concern about the impact of sugar on the population and how that is impacting our healthcare system. The level of sugar consumption is a genuine concern and deserves serious policy attention.
But they never did look on that. None at all. Let me just tell them by this because Andrew tell us that the young reason why I'm going to buy, I'm going to draw this. Continue.
However, where we part with the government is what is being prescribed as the solution to that problem. If the primary concern is about reducing sugar outcomes, the government has more effective tools that can be used to do so. The government can mandate local manufacturers and importers to reformulate their products so that sugar content is reduced in those products and provide a time frame by which those manufacturers and importers do so, because it will obviously require some time to reformulate their, what they produce. This would reduce the amount of sugar people consume, and the government can do that. Now, I want to look at the assumptions behind this tax. The government is imposing the taxes on an assumption that there would be no reduction in the consumption of these goods. The government anticipates to get $10 billion from consumption alone, which means that they do not believe that there will be health benefits from this new tax. Because if there was, there would be a reduction in consumption. And the reality that we find, Madam Speaker, is that the persons who consume these drinks do so not because they're not concerned about the sugar content, but the reality is that the alternatives are outside of their reach, whether it be natural juices, coconut water, or other things. So many of them are doing it not because they have a choice, but quite frankly, given their disposable income, they do not have a choice. All right? And without providing options which are healthy at a reasonable cost, all this tax will do is add a financial burden to those persons, many of whom are at the lowest end of the economic ladder. So, Madam Speaker, we do not believe this measure, apart from raising revenues, will have any desired impact on reducing consumption and increasing the health outcomes. The government also has other options. The government is one of the largest providers through the school feeding program to children. The government needs to ensure that what it provides meets the nutrition, the adequate and proper nutritional content for students. Many of the, whether it's the cherry malt or the bulla or what is provided, is not consistent with reducing sugar. So if we want to meet the health outcomes, let us start as government with how we formulate the products that are sent to our schools. And we would have the desired outcome of reducing sugar in the level of sugar that is consumed.
So can we know what's a lie them at the money because Andrew just got money my rates. Continue again.
Now recently I heard the Prime Minister, maybe last week, justifying the continued extraction by arguing that the funds are being directed to other national priorities.
Shameless.
So I want to ask the Prime Minister one question. When the PMP had to do it between 2013 and 2016, were we not also directing those funds to national priorities? Were we not also using that money to meet the primary surplus that kept Jamaica out of default? Were we not using it to restore the confidence of the very international partners whose support the government relies on today? What exactly was different? What principle was being violated? You have found your voice. You have found your voice now. I'm glad you found your voice now. I'm glad you found your voice now. Because I don't know which Andrew Holness are talking to. Whether it's the one now or the one in 2015.
Bipolar.
So what was different? What was different now than it was in 2013? The only thing that was different was you were on this side and we were on that side.
Well, and them, I'm going to give them two more because Big Mama will come rub him out, but I'll play two more.
The tax suggests that the cash flows from it will be directed towards environmental production, towards protecting our coastlines, our watersheds, our forests, the very natural infrastructure that Melissa reminded us we cannot afford to neglect. But the money goes straight into the consolidated fund. None of it is ring-fenced for specific environmental purposes. So we have a levy collecting money in the name of the environment, but it is not dedicated to the protection of the environment. It's simply another revenue source. And as with the sugary drinks tax, it's not the importer or the manufacturer who is the one who will ultimately pay the price. The cost will get passed ultimately down to the consumer.
Because of them attacks our people who can't find food. All right, good.
With no corresponding benefit to the environment.
All right.
So, Madam Speaker, when I look at what is being proposed with both the sugary tax and the environmental levy, it is simply inflationary because the cost of the costs are going to drive up prices in the economy, and the burden is going to be felt by those who can least afford it. In examining the package that was tabled by the government, what I only can come to a conclusion on is that they recognized there was a revenue gap and they had to find the easiest way to fill it. The measures are not calibrated to protect the most vulnerable. They are not designed around the specific circumstances of a post-hurricane economy. They are simply revenue measures which impact the poor the most.
Yeah, get two more of this and never go.
Let me turn to the estimates of expenditure. And I would want to start with something simple. A budget is a government's clearest statement of its priorities. So when I listened to the minister's presentation, it did not address the scale of the disaster we face. It read like a budget being business as usual, which cannot be right when there are thousands of Jamaicans who lost their homes, their businesses, farms, livestock, and everything that they work for. I want to turn to look at the revenue measures announced by the government. And I particularly before I get into the economics, I want to start with the people, because that is where the conversation belongs. There is Miss Margaret in Sablamar, who lost her entire shop in Melissa. She has been borrowing to restock, but she's not back to where she started. There is James in Montego Bay who runs a small transport business. His vehicle was damaged. He's still paying to fix it, but he's not yet back on his feet.
Good.
Madam Speaker, there are hundreds more who were affected by the hurricane who are not back to where they were before.
Good.
They will now pay more on their grocery bills when they go to the supermarket, because the government has chosen to impose a new tax package of $18 billion. Madam Speaker, increasing the burden on ordinary Jamaicans, average Jamaicans, through higher taxes is not the right call at this time. And we on this side do not support it. Good. If we were at the wicket, we would have played a different shot.
Good.
When an economy is contracting,
yes,
meaning it is slowing down,
yes,
raising taxes is a pro-cyclical response.
That's true.
What that means in practice is that you are applying pressure in the same direction as the problem rather than against it.
Good.
The economy is already shrinking. The tax base has weakened, first by 10 years of low growth under this administration, and then by the hurricane. Businesses are earning less, households are spending less, and the government's chosen response is to extract more revenue from an already financially stressed population.
Good.
That does not sustainably address the fiscal challenge.
Good.
You are compounding the economic problem.
Thank you.
The more appropriate response in these circumstances is what is termed counter-cyclical. And what does that mean? You push against the slowdown in the economy. You stimulate activity and create the conditions for the tax base to recover organically.
It's like how them did have the pandemic over here, the government stimulate the economy. When you look something rich in everybody bank account or something that they can go spend, because the work them are shut down, this, that. Them now take taxes from the people. By the way, them are give them 10 billion and I take 18 billion. Remember those few of them I get the little 5, the 75. It don't even make no sense. That means them they get not even out of the money, even out of the insurance money, brother.
You're perfectly right.
8.4 billion. You give them 10 billion, but yeah, a matter of fact, make us a stop before I play this. Yeah, give them 10 billion. So much people, 100,000 whom this trial are damaged. And you give all these people 100 and much thousand. Beryllium Hospital have around 3,000 beds. Remember one building, and them have 20 billion to go deal with. 20 billion in a buy one. So the hospital get more money than all these people combined, more than 2 times. Nearly 2.5 times the amount of money. Yeah? Against all these family who mash up. The Beryllium Canal Regional get more money than them. If you say them have repair something, you can't believe that. People when have the house to have a bill back. Around 24, 25 billion, 24.8 billion. Them I get 10 billion. For just 1 or 2 little people them where mash up survive. And that makes sense to you?
No, it can't make no sense.
Canal Regional I get more than more than 100% over what them I get. Eh? It double up. Them I get 10 billion, them have 20 billion, one little building. And we have built back 100 billion and repair, and our 10 billion them get. Them I get. That makes sense, brother? Continue.
A growing economy generates more revenue over time than any package of new taxes that are imposed on the people, who are already struggling to stay afloat after the hurricane. And beyond the timing, Madam Speaker, there's a real question of who carries the burden of these tax packages. The measures which were announced by the minister all fall disproportionately on those with lower incomes.
True.
Including the elderly, the
True.
very people who are still struggling to recover from Melissa.
Yes. True. Pay the last one with the man them with us. Not Big Mama. This is very
I
important.
want to turn to the digital services tax because the minister's presentation on Tuesday left us with more questions than answers.
Yes.
When this measure was first announced, the reasonable assumption shared by many persons was that the tax would apply to subscriptions, for example, Netflix, Spotify, those streaming and digital services.
Copy that.
That was the natural reading of a digital services tax and what obtains in many other jurisdictions that have implemented it. But from what the minister said on Tuesday, it appears that the intention is different. It seems that the tax will apply to goods purchased online from platforms like Amazon, Temu, and Shein.
Yes.
Now, Madam Speaker, if that is indeed what is being proposed, then a serious question arises. Because that government 2 years ago made a very deliberate policy decision to raise the threshold on online purchases, increasing the custom duty exemption from 50 to 100 US, and from $500 to $1,000 for persons traveling into the country. That was a conscious choice to reduce the cost burden to Jamaicans.
Yes.
And it was met with huge applause. Now, the digital services tax seems to be working against that relief.
True.
This inconsistency needs to be explained. You cannot, on the one hand, increase the threshold to give consumers a break, and then on the other hand, you take back what you have just extended. And so the minister said in her presentation that local retailers are feeling the pressure from online shopping. So the obvious question is, if that was the case,
local retailers are feeling the pressure from online shopping. What kind of pressure? And everybody else shop online. So you talk about local retailers, tell the Chinese come out with them bogus thing. One shop having 300-400 million worth of bogus everything. You know, say, Byron and Pap, me just see a youth, a dancer youth that show some shoes in one of them arcade or something, say if you come buy shoes. You know much one of the shoes them, brother? What are the shoes there? Let me say Nike and some other shoes, $5 grand. Now when you look on the brand at $5 grand, that's like $30. Them brand and sell for $30 no way at all, brother.
No way.
Knock off.
Knock off, yeah.
Knock off. But it's full of these kind of $5 grand and them kind of little shoes, and I show you the different brand them. $5 grand? Knock off. Them have to stop them that robbery. Continue.
Why then did the government 2 years ago increase the threshold to provide the relief, to now take it back from the persons who you have provided relief? And beyond the inconsistency, there is a practical question of how this is going to be implemented. How are the taxes going to be collected? Who is going to be responsible for remitting it? What is the mechanism for enforcement across hundreds and thousands of transactions from foreign platforms? The minister owes the House an explanation. She has been here twice, and I must say, having spoken twice, it is as confusing as it was before. As to exactly...
It's an embarrassment.
So, I expect the minister, when she comes in her closing, to give a clear and complete explanation of how the measure will actually work and how it will be implemented.
Thanks. Thank you. We have to run that, because we see the time around, but here this now, I'm show now where Big Mama definitely charged for treason. I'm going to play Andrew Holness. Because Andrew Holness, government to government, I did have that with thing that you tell it's a government to government. I'm going to play that too. So government to government, right? And to anything, I'm going to play Fix Jackson too. But I'm going to play Andrew attack to Rubio, and this is what I'm saying about the Cuban there. Yeah, and the laws. Because when you're in a country, you know, remember you have to follow the country laws and rules and everything, you know. Government, they done. Them are deal with you, government to government, and that always going all over the place, right? Here what Andrew said to Rubio, yes, so hear this.
Resources and organization is brought to the crisis in Haiti. In terms of what more could be done, I think we're at a phase in Haiti where there has to be a rapid expansion of the Haitian National Police, the HNP.
But me tell them, so when them go to Haiti, they make sure them divorce them wife and things. So them not go over there go do nothing. You understand? So you know there is a failure at Haiti and do them they just look some money from the European Union.
In terms of the manpower and resources, because ultimately the HNP has to take on the gangs. The present holding situation that we have is not necessarily moving the situation forward as we would all like. So there would have to be a significant expansion in resources in support of the HNP to enable them to take on the gangs. In terms of Cuban doctors in Jamaica, let us be clear. The Cuban doctors in Jamaica have been incredibly helpful to us. Jamaica has a deficit in health personnel, primarily because many of our health personnel have migrated to...
No! America take them, you know, so them migrated, you know, pay them right, but them lower them. You see, you have Rubio there, so for you tell them the truth, say, wanna lower them, you know. For you thing lower them, we train them, but wanna lower them because we don't have the money to pay them. You could have given a grant and help we. We're a third world country. No, and then you give a travel advisory to the hospital. This is the same fate for talk to brothers.
Yeah.
They migrated, just migrated, you know. Continue.
To other countries. We are, however,
most of them going to the US, and you have the man say they have to talk. You know, they migrate to other country. Remember, you know, anybody can just migrate. You understand what I say? Yeah, well, but them know, so them lower them and take them. We don't have none. Okay, continue.
Very careful not to exploit the Cuban doctors who are.
So we're very careful. Tell them know where I'm saying not to exploit them. That's him the last year.
We ensure that they are treated within our labor laws and.
So them are treated good in our labor laws. What nasty Google got face behind tough town.
Benefit like any other worker. So any characterization of the program by others certainly would not be applicable to Jamaica.
So him tell you 100% say them treated good. So when you go back where now? Make a play with Big Mama, that's why Big Mama for Charles to Treason. Make a show what the people them are doing, yeah?
We are ensuring that our program complies with all the international laws and standards to which we are a party to.
So him say this, make a move him now. But here Big Mama now heading and betting with the with Rubio now. Hear this.
That their movement in Jamaica was restricted. Their passports were...
People, their movement, remember Big Dirty thinking, Mama said, him hear this, you know. This is how this piece of shit, hey, him for go to prison, you know. Them for charge him for treason, this nastiness, you know. Remember, you know, remember play it back. You don't hear it again. Them restricted.
That their movement in Jamaica was restricted. Their passports were being held on to. Yeah? They could not form certain social relationships here in Jamaica.
Movement restricted.
They were, and I think the word used by George this morning was most appropriate. They were in servitude.
Yeah, this.
That cannot.
Him and George Davis make up the one of this and pick up for United States.
Be right?
Yeah, this.
That cannot be right.
Yeah, the people.
And there are now many questions for the Jamaican government.
I remember, you know, when it come out from a thing, some people, and them people here, remember them can't come together, you know, Byron. Remember showing you know.
Exactly.
Look how I'm showing you know. Them people here, them Cuban here, that mean the movement restricted. We don't see that. Right? The movement restricted. Look on these people. It's one of them party. Look here.
Repítelo. Y como vengo, ya se convierte en el baño Dejen estoy en escena, dejen el chisme por Dios. Dice mi coro.
These are the people movements where this nastiness I make we know say Byron restricted. Let me play some more. Because this are all them lie and wicked, you know. These people movement, me are people who move around them. Good. Let me show you some more. That's just one. Let me show you in a New Kingston, them all over the place. Them everywhere. No movement are restricted. This is how the man lie. Them are in wicked, in the charge for treason, picking up for these things. I'm going to go for the Cuban there. You're nastiness, you don't know. So they have them here. Yeah? Them movement restricted. Yeah? In the charge for treason. No, look here. Let me show you this. Let me show you this. When I look at this, it's a last. This I want your last. Yeah, look at that. Waistline, she's a big dancer. When you run, tell you he's a big dancer. Let me turn them then calypso. Okay. You can't see them. You can't see them. I know the road is them there. This are calypso. You see them up in New Kingston, right? See the Cuba. See them here? Look. With them flag there. Them all over the place. So the movement restricted dirty thinking, Big Mama. You piece of shit, yo. See the people, them are doctors and nurses enjoy them. Say, look there. That look like them restricted to you, brother. Them come out with them one flag. See them put up them thing there. See that Cuban team. Are them carnival. Jamaica carnival. So the movement restricted. This look like it restricted to you, New Kingston, that. No, the movement restricted nastiness.
Boy, you bold to him and caught him down a slip.
No, this piece of germs. But go on this and that. I can show you more. I can show you more. I can show you what I go on with the people. Them listen. Them do karaoke, them do all kind of things. Them have club, them have them things. Them move anywhere over the island. There is no restriction and no movements there. Big Mama Drive Davis telling lie. Them video them thing, them put it up. Nobody, Cuba no restrict. Them under no restriction. And I said to the people them love them till it look bad. Cause them say them treat them better than Jamaican doctors and nurses. The people them there, them there up at Devon House, them there everywhere. Them up on Warp Road, cause them have them club where them going on. Them go them club, them there all over the place. So the one of this way attack is lie. What Big Mama talk about is straight lie. No, the people them this a move, no, are socialized with him say them restricted and them can't move. But me have video with them, I show the BPO under more pressure than more than anything else. American BPO them because of them imply them down there. Have them at the BPO. Let me show you two little thing now. Let me show you this, Cuba. Let me show you about the movement restricted a piece of germs, yo. Me have the one of this every charge for treason is a piece of shit. You and George Davis are gonna do. Come on, come tell BLI, TVJ, let me see this. All right, watch out. This is a TVJ. Watch out.
We visited the eye care clinic at St. Joseph's Hospital today. Here's Janella Precious with that story.
This senior citizen, who goes by the name Miss Hyacinth, arrived at the eye clinic on the grounds of the St. Joseph's Hospital Monday, hoping to have a procedure done.
I woke up so early this morning to get ready. My daughter off to work, and she have to take me. She have to beg the time to take me here.
Instead, she left disappointed.
Now that we came.
Where you say under Big Mama restricted, under the Gully Queen live. Them in that everything restricted to do that. Put that level like the freeway.
Weird.
Freeway.
Weird. Where's him live? Where's him live?
Big Mama.
Where's the Gully Queen live?
Under Big Mama them live. So under him there is no truth. Ledger say under Big Mama restricted. That not restricted. Under Big Mama them live is like a freeway. George Davis live under there too. Endless and the whole of them. You can't say about restricted. If no mind, pamper fish and the whole of them. It means that germs continue.
And they said they cannot do it today. Between 24 hours, they will send us a message, call us, and so forth.
So you hear this, the people that complain about them are blind. Hey, Byron, I'm helping Pat. What we have to do, even get two of the trader by there and start buy some little cane, the white cane from now. People, when you make Andrea trick on the web, we are sending some cane. On the metal shot in the eye, we have the cataract shot in two eye and start feel round. And try go round and shut, keep on the eye shut because we have cataract and thing on the gun, you know. On the gun. Yes, the government not easy. Play again.
She's been receiving treatment for both glaucoma and cataract. And like many of the persons who'd gathered at the clinic, they've been benefiting from the services offered by the Cuban doctors and nurses. On Monday, even persons who did not have appointments descended on the property. The news of the end of the arrangement between the Jamaican government and Cuba triggering anxiety and questions like, what now?
To tell you the truth, we did a fret. Because we are saying, if they gone, who then go and bring in to join with we, because we trust them. I do this high.
Yes.
And I wasn't seeing anything out of it. Now I am seeing out of this now. I can look on you. I can look on you. So I'm working on this one.
Sitting below this Jamaica-Cuba eye care program sign, we met this woman who gave her assessment of the service provided by the Cubans.
They're patient with you. You know, if some others, they would tell you that they have you carrying you. They don't explain, like the Cuban doctor explained to me and my mom, because we used to work.
You see, Jamaican explain to them and like Cuban treat them the best, you know. Yes. And the Cuban enjoy them.
The Jamaica-Cuba Eye Care Program began in 2009 to provide free surgical care for cataracts, pterygium, and diabetic retinopathy. According to the Ministry of Health, more than 40,000 persons have been screened and over 20,000 eye surgeries have been done. Meters away from the eye clinic is the National Cancer Treatment Center. It was officially opened in 2018.
Listen, the audio up, you know, you have to just boot your thing, yeah, the audio up, man.
To provide advanced, affordable cancer care, including radiation-based treatments using state-of-the-art linear accelerators. It's one of 2 such facilities in the country. Again, the Cuban doctors are at the core.
We have 3 Cuban professionals.
And them look about this, you know. We don't have nobody else to do it, you know. Hear this.
Our radiation therapists too, who are after Mr. Missy, our senior radiation therapists.
On average, 60 patients are treated daily. The treatment lasts up to a month. There's currently a waiting list of 300 patients. When the Cubans leave, that number will likely balloon as fewer patients will be accommodated. Recruitment has been slow, and so the future of the center is in limbo.
What I would like to encourage our government to see if it's possible to move maybe at a quicker pace, because we are looking at lives out there, patients suffering from cancer. They need to come on board to be treated, because cancer is not a disease where you expect patients to wait longer before they can access it.
You hear this? I'm sure it fits on them. I could talk on this. Because sure it fits Jackson now. Fits? Because you have Fitz Jackson now. But Big Mama about him, I talk about them no move him and dirty thinking, Draws Davis, these 2 big piece of shit. Them picture of Treason, the 2 of them are germs. Me tell you about them. Remember, you know, the people them do video, and if them did under bandage, people that see them bandage up. When you people that talk to them all over the island, them go eat them lunch, them go out, them come and work. Nobody now bandage them up. If a night a bus drop them off or something like what them do normally, them a live normal life in a Jamaica. And I feel good too, because them like the place them feel good. You understand? Big Mama them come up with them shit.
Dear assistants, Cuba has been that to us. The argument advanced by the Minister of Foreign Affairs as a basis of termination, unilateral termination, as the Cubans have said. And if you ask me, I believe the Cubans in this more than I believe my government. Regrettable. Frivolous argument that the Minister of Finance advanced at the Standing Finance Committee and in subsequent news releases is again disgraceful. payments are being made to the Cuban government for the workers or on behalf of the workers who come here. To be frank, what is unique about that? None of these workers from China or elsewhere is paid by the government of Jamaica. They are paid by a private company on behalf of the workers. And there are a number of companies in Jamaica who do not pay their workers directly. They pay to the contracting party. In the case,
this we are talking about from the other day, man. The same thing. All right. So it's only people. No, the same thing we are talking about. Why not send on the Chinese? We not ask the question. See what me hear the FINSAC asked today.
The Cuban health service workers, the contractual arrangement is between the government of Jamaica and the government of Cuba.
Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State for the U.S., he came last year on a visit and he described this agreement as forced labor.
I have had the opportunity to interact with a number of Cuban health care workers. None of them are forced workers, forced labor. You know, if that argument is to have any credibility, why aren't they asking the Chinese workers to leave? On the basis of their own argument. It's frivolous and it's dishonest. It's dishonest. All I can say, better days will come. We are not losing hope in our country. And what we need to do, the opposition is steadfast. We will stand with the Cuban government on this matter. It's clear.
Thank you.
It is responding to other demands, other instructions, rather than giving priority to the demands of our people.
When you say other instruction and other demands, you mean from the U.S.?
All the entities and governments have instructed them. I know that the U.S. government is.
How you mean? Nobody there where you ask, you know, it's the U.S. government. Remember, one more time I'm making jump in at this now. One more answer, Mama, for charge for treason. I want to play one more video now. Make I play this video, you better. Wait me, let me find it fast, yeah. I have to play this video, yeah, because the one big Mama for charge for treason and the joke me I make. Hear this now, you want to know about slavery? Look past slavery.
Welcome back, continuing the news. Call center employees can sue their employers. That's argument from attorneys as complaints continue to climb about harsh working conditions in the BPO sector. Romardo Lyons reports.
Salary changes, unjust working conditions, mental stress. Just a few of the many complaints being made by call center workers about the conditions they endure. The BPO sector is offering many entry-level youngsters a significant opportunity to have jobs that provide both revenue and work experience. Those are the words of the Labor Ministry. But it seems more and more that the offering is modern-day slavery, with repeated discourse about labor laws being breached. There are often reports about workers being denied breaks or overtime pay. Even outstanding redundancy payments have come up. Does that automatically amount to a violation?
Them all want P. Me remove this to me see time strain, but me gonna remove that now and just can't talk to slavery. Because people want P a pregnant woman when 12 hours straight and can't go P. And them now get when you look at $1 add for them pay some might get $2, like $200 per hour. Yeah? Some have $100, yeah, $200 per hour, like $1.25, $1.30, that right? Some may get a little more, $300 per hour. And when you look 12 hours, brother, you can't get to eat lunch and them do all kind of things and talk to you. This is more than slavery. I remember, you know, at the big company, them over in the state, at them, you know, source it out, where them get cheap labor, and Marco Rubio now come and say, no, come in, know you see this. And it's not the media, and you know, come and say nothing about this. Eh? We know say at the money, at the hard work where US and where Cuba make, we not try to stop. Because Byron, and Pat, if you serve for some doctor, all right, Byron, if you leave your mother house and your father house and them send it to, you know, this happen to enough people, them send it to an auntie or some other relative, figure grow up, and when you look them and ill treat you. When you do, your father them hear that. If them do make you stay there, or them that take you back.
Don't take me back.
Them that why you come home.
Yeah.
Right? So if Cuba ill treat them people here, Yeah, because remember, you know, me see Trump come out, and Trump say the white African never get ill treated, and I lose them land, and him offer them to come to US come live, and give them papers. Now that thing they say.
Yes.
So if you have 50-odd country, 56 country, have the Cuban doctor, and according to them, they might get bad treatment. Why don't want them lose them work and go back in the hands where you say they might get bad treatment? If you send them home. So you know that, remember doctors them, you know, don't you, and you take our nurse and doctors them. Why you never take them there? I tell we if you keep them and not send them home. Cut off our ties. And that you say, you say everybody to send them home. That means them can't raise the US. When I think, I want to go like I want to alone a bit. I want to alone can read that right. What I'm talking about? I'm bad, I want to talk about, but this is how we all them make the US, brother. So they might say, oh, them export doctor, they might make money that way, yeah. Make we cut off this. So we can, that's what alone them do. Because then they send on the Chinese too. Then they send everybody. See? We ask the same question. You see what I said, Ryan?
Exactly, you're right.
Mama with him lie, him for charge for treason. You're saying, Byron.
All right. The thing is, and the truth of the matter, what we need to identify, right? As it relates to Andrew Holness, who came out roughly about a week or so ago, right? And, you know, making statement, right, in support of the Cuba. Remember, I came out and said, you know, that he was an hypocrite. Because I know that most of the times, right, his policies, position align with Donald Trump, right? Now, Donald Trump made him go against our Petrocarib deal. Donald Trump have him doing that. And everything that Donald Trump wanted him to do, right? That is what he's going to do because it shows Jamaica people that he's compromised. When we see a Mia Motley, right, in Barbados, Mia Motley can stand up and defend, right, the Cuban authority, nurses and doctors, right? Mm-hmm. And what Mia Motley said that she really doesn't have any Cuban personnel in her program just about now. But she, you understand, had processed them before, right? And I see nothing wrong and defending them. And Mia Motley never defended them on a platform in secret. She defended them on a platform that is big and powerful. Mm-hmm. So the United States heard her. Right? And the thing about that, Mia Motley defended them with confidence.
Yes.
Why Mia Motley is confident, lonesome and melting pot? Confident because
them can't put them
that United States cannot pull her around. It's not a puppet on a string.
Yes.
She's not corrupted. Mia Motley know that her statutory declaration has been certified. Mia Motley know that she had led over, right, several members of parliament in her cabinet, right, and know that they are not corrupted.
Yes.
Mia Motley know that she doesn't have any $470 million running through 28 accounts.
Yes.
And Mia Motley also aware that Mia Motley, doesn't have 28 accounts. So you can see the contrast. And based on the contrast, Mia Motley can give us a Michael Manley like. Michael Manley was not corrupted. Michael Manley could not be used as a puppet on a string. Michael Manley had not done anything, you understand, that is wrong or going contrary to both local or international law. So Michael Manley was confident. Michael Manley stood on a platform that speaks directly to the United States. And what did he say? He said he will walk on his 2 feet rather than walk on her knee on his knees. Simply mean that he's not going to bow to a United States government telling him how to run his government. Not going to bow. And he didn't. Well, you have Andrew Holness. There's a problem here. You have Andrew Holness that him anti-corruption system is investigating him. You have that. You have the very same Andrew Holness who made attempt in terms of applying to the court, seeking the court involvement and engagement in wanting to eliminate the illicit act as it relates to the Corruption Act. You want to eliminate the illicit enrichment laws. Right? Now, you have Andrew Holness that have more than 700,000 US dollars. People not looking up. Listen. Andrew Holness have 700,000 US dollars in Citibank. Let me say something clear now. I want people to understand, right, what I'm saying. When I say that I wouldn't mind Andrew Holness, Donald Trump, come for Andrew Holness because he hit the Swiss system. Let me make it categorically clear in terms of people understand what I'm saying. What I am saying, I am simply saying that Donald Trump should adhere to the laws of the United States, obey them, follow the laws, right? And pursued Andrew Holness. Pursued Andrew Holness as it relates to money laundering practices. As it relates to that sort of transaction would have hit the Swiss system and their laws govern that. So I want Jamaica to understand what I'm saying. I don't give no indication that I am in support of Donald Trump administration. I give no such indication that I am in support of Donald Trump administration. Now, let me speak categorically clear why that is. I will not support someone as it relates to an allegation, although when we talk about due diligence, where it is evidently clear, where Donald Trump using the system to hide and suppress the Epstein file. What we heard coming out of the Epstein file is a cause to concern. I want to say something categorically clear, where people understand where Mystic Sensation stand. Because some people might say, then why are you calling up on Andrew Holness to come for and Donald Trump to come for Andrew Holness? We are talking about the legality and where Donald Trump must act according to law.
True.
But you see that no, it doesn't act according to law, and using Andrew Holness as a puppet because him, Donald Trump, probably would have done the same thing. Now let us go specifically to the Epstein file. Based on what is coming out, and listen to me. For those in the United States believe that I'm saying something wrong and believe that, okay, you what happened now? We are going to part ways and I am going to unsubscribe. But please go. Please do. Please do. I will always be me. I will always be me. It out uncorrupted politicians. This is what we have today as it relates to the United States president. Serious allegations within the Epstein file. As it relates to sexual molestation of young ladies that don't have the age of consent. This is what the world is reckoned with. Are you going to look through that? You are talking about someone who had been impeached, found guilty. Now, this is the same man that have authority to the nuclear code. You don't understand that, but you don't understand that, people. This is the man that has control to the nuclear code. So what are we saying? And let me tell you something. That is one of the reasons why we cannot depend on the United States under a Donald Trump administration to move out Andrew Holness. They are capitalists and they corrupted the same way. Andrew Holness know that. If he step too hard, then Donald Trump will expose him. Now, let us talk about truthfulness here. So does that make it better? That, okay, all right. If you are not corrupted, and you know that someone is corrupted, and you are not going to use the law against that person because you want to gain political mileage, or you want to work it in your benefit, or by the law, you are extorting him. Extortion. If you don't do what I say, then I will hold this over you. And if you don't do what I say, then I will do this. Well, you are corrupted as well. We want a standout. We want someone who is going to hold the bull by the arm and speak to us, not in the vein of corruption. We want someone like a Portia Simpson who stood up in her party, Portia Simpson, who stood up and said, I don't care if Jack Smith is a politician. Wrong is wrong. What Jack Smith did is a fundamental wrong. And I, Portia Simpson, is going to fight in sending him to prison. And guess what? She did. She did. And Portia Simpson got a lot of fight for that. She did. But Portia Simpson doesn't care. Because guess what? Good governance is what matters. Good governance is what is going to take a nation to success. I tell you this, Jamaica, before I yield back. that the party that deals with education, the party that knows that education is vitally important, the party that under the history of our politics has never and will never interfere with our education budget. We are talking about a party who said, increase our bauxite levy. What we got from the bauxite, we put it into education, and we say, tertiary level education, free education up to university level. That is the party that stand. The Titans never be Manleyites without any reason. We be Manleyites because of the fundamental policies, democratic socialism. What we are saying, equal opportunities must be provided for all, whether you're rich, poor, black, white, pink, or purple. But the playing field must be level. Equal opportunity must be afforded to every single person, be a Jamaican via birth or naturalization. And we said, we have witness to bear that crony capitalism, including the USA under certain administration, use CIA to destroy democratic socialism. And I yield back.
Well said, Sir Byron. And I mean, the proof is in the pudding, as it relates to how two administration operate. Well, we know, say, Andrew corrupt and involved in a lot of wrongs. And likewise, Donald Trump corrupt and involved in a lot of wrongs. So, as the current, state of affairs will prove to everyone, Donald Trump will not come and, do anything to Andrew Holness administration unless Andrew disobey. As long as Andrew is playing the game that Trump wants him to play, Andrew will remain safe until maybe Donald Trump had take him or him lose the midterm election and, say certain things to change the landscape. You understand? Yeah. But we know in our time to come, yeah, Andrew Holness will have to face up to all that the United States have on him. Because the Democrat will make sure know when them come in, them enforce that. So Andrew is playing a losing game. But just look at, the broader scope of things that it relate to local affair with Big Mama coming out and telling lies. Yeah. Now we prove the point, say, the GLP administration, along with Big Mama and Charles Davis, they are liars. You understand? And they are spin doctors. But them never know the eagle have them type of video they can come exhibit them to the public, So right now, say, and we knock them to 6 again.
All the time.
Because here are the Cubans enjoying themselves, yeah, living a lifestyle that appreciate to them. They appreciate that lifestyle. Yeah, they are unwinding on a weekend, as we all see. They are participating in carnival. They are having a whale of a time and enjoying the lovely climate and the working environment. But here are these garbage, these spin doctors, these corruptors coming out and painting a different picture, trying to create a scenario that does not exist. No, we find that to be very, offensive to the Jamaican citizen. When you come out yeah, as a media house and lie to the people tuning in to your media broadcast. Likewise, the government, who is duly elected by the people, the same applies to them when them come out and lie. Because Jamaican people now are left in a dilemma, yeah, where they have no medical personnel basically to treat them, especially up at fish. But what I saw was a bit too late and a bit too fragile. You know, I wanted the Jamaican people to come out and demonstrate from a longer time and in a more robust fashion. You would say a more thicker crowd, and, you know, it caused a bit of concern to the government. Because, you know, it's just on the last brink of the game. Jamaican people have come out, should have come out longer than now, man. Longer than now. This is what we are called for. Action on the ground. Where people come and raise them voice and, you know, let them growls be heard. Because Rubio come and instruct Andrew and Tough Tongue to get rid of the Cuban them. And as Wayne said, it's all down to the trade embargo that was enforced under Kennedy, President Kennedy, where they are trying to stop the Cuban from, you know, participating in other countries using the medical personnel as a resource. It's a commodity that everywhere in the world requires that. Yeah. And Cuban are some of the best, if not the best, in those fields. And so they will always be in demand. But when you look at the state of affairs, a small little island like Barbados who can fit into St. Ann Parish. Barbados can fit in the parish of St. Ann. Mia Matley could come and stand on a platform that is locally but broadcasting on a wider scale and state the obvious that she rather keep the Cuban them in our country working and being paid the same wages than, you know, clutching on to a US visa.
Yes.
So should I give up the visa?
Pat, I'm gonna play a a 1 minute video with Big Mama because I know you're gonna get mad now, you know. For your speech, I make it turn it up a notch when you see this. You're not gonna believe this. That's why I'm Byron. This I make it turn it up more. I look how Pat I get mad when them see that little piece of thing, you know. Because this is when I see the guy for charge for treason. Here we come out time out now. With him live. Just hear this. Me never play it. Hear this.
Rubio and Trump. Some credit here. Because we heard.
Remember play it back and make your ear when I say I make you finish talk. He might give Rubio and Trump credit for do what? Him betray the country with him lies. Hear this. Hear this.
Rubio and Trump. Some credit here. Because we heard first that something was amiss from Trump and Rubio, his Secretary of State. That's when we heard first. And I noticed the Jamaican government did not come out and fully declared what we are learning until the Cuban government last week. Some credit here. Because we heard first that something was amiss.
That's what I play it for you, know, because me know come head when me play iPad. Just one back that thing. This is a treasonous talking. Remember, you know, Holness himself come and say him no know none of them under these kind of question. He makes sure them follow the laws. We have them a party, them a do carry key, them have the video them, you know. But the piece of shit no know. We have people talk to them all over Jamaica, them so nice. Them all some of them all get married and all kind of things. People love them, you know, and them love Jamaica. So the whole of this for this piece of shit, I get Trump and Rubio, say them carry out them bust this. It make it a true fucking lie. But the man take up for foreign power, yeah, against our one people, and I chat him fuckery. Him to come off of the air. Him is a piece of shit.
Me tell Cardell Green to me take off this piece of shit off of the air. Because him not supposed to operate at the space. Him delinquent. And all him come and do is chat pay fucker and tell pay life for Andrew. He's back in the GLP administration, led by a criminal, the crime minister Andrew Holness. Yeah. So when Nancy thinking big dirty swati mama come out and I say, Ruby and Trump deserve credit for exposing what? Lies. Because none of what them say are not true, you know. None of what them say are not true. We all know that the relationship with Jamaica and Cuba commenced under Michael Manley administration 53 years ago. We know that for a fact. And we know that there has never been any problem with that contractual agreement that Jamaica and Cuba have. Yeah? It's only recently now we are hear about problem, and when we hear it recently is when Rubio come deliver the message from Donald Trump to Andrew Holness and Tough Tongue as it relates to getting rid of the Cuban medical personnel, yeah, from Jamaica and sending them back home. All what they have said are lies as it relates to the program. They're talking about, you know, inhumane condition. Them talking about all type of thing like passport.
Together and ban.
Them talking about, yeah, people can socialize like people under bandage. Yeah. But when you play the video, what we see the people do? We see the people socialize and enjoy Jamaica.
Well, I know them are in a Jamaican people, and them allow female play them play them own music. Them all do karaoke, you know. We have
yes.
Them they are carnival. Last year that them they are carnival. Right now, every week them enjoy themselves. Them do them karaoke. Them have them own club. Them play them own music. Them that nurse. You saw them enjoy themselves.
When the video where you just play a Latin music, me I listen to, you know.
All right. And them have them flag and everything. When anywhere them go, them big up them thing.
Yes. These are people who are not suppressed. These are people who are expressing themselves in Jamaica. You understand? And are people that are being well loved and appreciated by the Jamaicans who seek their medical assistance. You understand? The work that they have done over the 50 years, you know, is undisputed. Because we have not gotten any form of this type of numbers in terms of medical personnel from anywhere else in the world. It's always a Cuban. It's always a Cuban.
Let me say something to you. See them there, Hope Road, 75 Hope Road, them up there, them have them club up there and everything. See there? I bet you just put it on right, John. Him right. Them and them over, them are know same everything. But me tell you something where Big Mama them, you don't know this Big Mama. Yeah? Him right. Them have them club up there. Them got them club, them there everywhere. Them there in every parish, people angle them good. When me say good, great. Yeah? So the lie where you come tell and boy you're back, that is treasonous. With your big dirty lie. Remember, you know, this are the same big dirty thinking mama gonna say me people that talk about rape. This are the same big dirty thinking mama said the woman all that same ocean wide said the woman what's she name Pantan? She own luxury. Yeah. All the need to go do. Everything out of that piece of shit mouth a lie. We prove it too now. The woman have no
It need to come out of the ear, you know, man. It need to come out of the ear, you know. And the public, the people in Jamaica have to demand that because he's telling pure lie. Every lie mama tell, we can rub it out around here and show the real side of the truth. You understand? So this man must leave the media circle alone. You can't have a media house to come out and lie on behalf of the government when the government has done harm to the citizen of the country. Him come out and defend the government to the T. And also now implicate Rubio and Trump, so them deserve credit to expose what?
Lies.
Lies. Hey, Big Mama, you want cat and 9, man. You want 5,000 lashes in and 10,000 when you come out, if you come out. Because them liar, you know, gone beyond reproach, you know. You understand? We can't take no more right now. You understand? This man now, what this man simply do, you know, is come discredit the Cuban them, you know. In a sense that him and the government are doing, you know. Discredit the people, them.
And nothing go so them can't move no, in the country. Them under bandage. Which the people them are the curricane, them are them there the New Kingston, them everywhere, you know. Them party. Him don't even know so they them party, them video it. I mean have them are
Big Mama gonna stand back from Big Mama going in the gully. That's why Big Mama don't know about them and them party. Cause Big Mama itch up around a back road, and when him not there a back road, him there in a Ruthven gully. Ruthven Road gully. We run through New Kingston, that piece of shit. You understand? This is why I'm saying, you know, when a society lose its identity, you know, and have them garbage there, and them nastiness there, as part of the society, it's bad for the country. Because you see, if them man that was real, if them the man that was man as God make them would have been a different type of serpent. But with the deformation and the changes in that image, is a garbage that, and the word serpent that right now in Jamaica. I mean, I don't know why Jamaican people them can't labor right. We don't stop listen to Big Mama. Because I know comrade now listen to him, you know. So me I tell the labor right them now. Lego Big Mama, Lego Andrew Holness. Because we can't swear them at the two. Yeah? Them have one in a chaos in a Jamaica. If you sick now, you can't get no help. There is no medical personnel on the ground. Especially when it come on to the eyesight. So as we and so we have to send down trailer load of cane.
Of course.
But we don't know how to manage. Still. Because we no better off seen. Because them reckless driving from the police them out of Jamaica, them will take on off of the sidewalk. Even when we don't have no cane. So we need no eyesight. We don't need can go to medical hospital and get help. Them have cancer treatment as well. Imagine that. I don't allow Andrew with him corruptness and him thieving attitude to bring the country into disrepute. Where Trump I hold him accountable and I use him as a bargaining chip. We send home the Cuban doctor as a form of their reinforcement relating to the trade embargo that John F. Kennedy take out by the Cuba in the 50s. Yeah? Late 50s him do that. You understand? And we have said that no right. Jamaican has benefit from Cuba in various capacity. Education, farming, building structure, medical side of things. Look how much benefit we get out of GC Pastor College. Cuban them build that. Garvey Museo, Osemati. Cuban them build that. You understand? And in terms of all the pandemic where Jamaica has encountered, the first medical booth on the ground outside of Jamaica is Cuban. Yeah? Several of our infrastructure back in the days. All in Gilbert. And the Cuban them come. The Cuban them come.
Read the comment there. Angela comment. Because I tell you, say them there 75. Just read it comment. You notice more people I tell you say Upper Hope Road. She says she go there, don't it? The event, very good. Because them are Jamaica dance or salsa too, you know, for them music.
Yes,
people have them flags.
I go there. Okay. Event, it's very good. Yeah, because them integrated. Cuban has always been a Jamaican.
Like slave in our country. Big Mama, you're too for treason. Yeah, Andreas Davis.
I don't hope the PMP them a take note of these lies, you know. And when the right time come, Andreas Davis and Big Mama forget charge. No two ways about it. Them bring the country into disrepute with the Cubans. You understand? And it's all because are sensible people, them no nonsensical like them germs there. The Cuban know say, yeah, Jamaican under the real administration, which is the People's National Party, will always embrace them and they will always provide the service for Jamaican. Not because of the Andrew Holness administration, but because of Michael Manley being the stalwart of a person that he was at the time, who when everybody around left Cuba, him go and embrace Cuba. Remember 1975, Fidel Castro set foot on Jamaican soil.
Yes, man.
And it was a big event at the National Hero Circle. That's where it culminated. You understand? And so we have to embrace that rich history of relationship that we have with the Cubans that was inaugurated by Michael Manley and Fidel Castro. Yeah, and with Jamaica will never relinquish that. So if Big Mama and Gerald Davis and Andrew Holness with them criminal self want, participate with America to relinquish that, that will never relinquish. When time the PNP come back, that will reignite it. You understand? And this is why we are showing the Jamaican people say, look, here what me now. At time when you realize which party have on the best interest at heart, which party will galvanize and mobilize a situation when it become critical in Jamaica.
Yes.
Because right now, if we have another pandemic, you think the Cuba will come back underneath this nasty kleptocratic administration?
Done.
It will take a lot of persuasion. But if the PMP is in there, them tap the finger, them run come. And that's what Jamaican people need. Jamaican people don't have the money to fly to America, Miami, Florida, and those places. No. The Cuban will come to us. So we must preserve this rich culture that we and Cuba have. And by extension, our people benefit from it. People with their eye problem, people with medical problem, benefit from having the Cuban participating in our medical fraternity. And because of Andrew Holness, criminal activity, when I use some nasty money, I touch the people in SWIFT system, them find out and them hold on upon them, and so Jamaica becomes ransom to America. Jamaican people now pay a high price as it relates to where Rubio and Trump want nasty Andrew Holness to carry out. Because capitalists will always destroy poor people. I keep saying to my Jamaican, capitalist is not for the black and the poor. Capitalist is for the rich and the white. Yeah, and I'm not saying this because of any racial slur or racial perception. It's just the plain fact. And previous red administration, like the Reagan administration and the Carter administration, Jamaica suffer great from capitalist intervention into our own social space. Siaga was given mandate as what and what him should do with Jamaica. This is why we have the Evening Tide fire. Remember, the petroleum don't come from Jamaica. It comes from outside of Jamaica. So this is why we have the Evening Tide fire. This is why we have a society that start to embrace gun culture. Because them import the gun into Jamaica. You understand? Specifically for the Jamaica Labour Party to use it to cause uproar in our society, where we have not just the army, but we have a paramilitary boot on the ground, which was people of ordinary civilian status who was given high power gun to shoot down their own fellow Jamaicans. And so Michael Manley had to build a gun court and put them under heavy management for the fire and the gun. shooting. Yeah. Remember, Bob Marley could have lost his life, you know, under the nasty CIA regime, which is the Jamaica Labour Party. Them shoot after Bob Marley twice. Them try to assassinate him, Michael Manley, more than once, more than twice, 3 times. You understand? And look, Bob Marley is an international superstar. Yeah. Michael Manley, as a leader representing the third world countries,
statesman,
yeah, becomes a statesman right across the world.
Yeah, man.
Michael Manley demand the best for our backside, increase it by 8-fold, and use that money to not only build infrastructure in Jamaica, but to educate Jamaicans using that money from the backside levy. This is why our education rose to an excellent standard, where we conquer spelling bee in Miami for several years. This is why we could have exported people of high class caliber in terms of profession, like medical doctors and nurses and other personnel through the university, which Michael Manley makes sure know every Jamaican with the capability to go to university when they're free. Everything was done free. Our education was 100% free under Michael Manley. And most of these liars that you see now who are doing wrong come through the same Michael Manley education program. Yeah. Justice Side is a progeny of Michael Manley educational program. And so we have to defend democratic socialism, because democratic socialism is for the people of Jamaica, the black and the poor, right? Not capitalism. Capitalism will support the man them who suppress Jamaica. When we raise the backside levy, them raise the oil and the wheat. You understand? And not only did they raise it, but they hoard it and cause an uproar in society to destabilize the Michael Manley government at the time and to destabilize democratic socialism. And so Jamaica has not gotten over that diabolic disaster that the Jamaica Labour Party, in partnership with the capitalists of the United States, unleashed on Jamaica. Right now, we are still suffering on the hands of Edward Seaga, who, when he came into power, got the GDP at 63%, and when he leave, it was 200 and odd. Damaging the local economy. Borrowing money at him same don't remember same borrow. At the time, 31 million. You know how much money that was at the time? When he borrowed that and same don't remember. But that was a lie. He mashed up the economy, you know. Mashed up the economy. A man that has owned is the only prime minister to ever be in office unopposed. Not just in local government, but in central government. Unopposed. I've all seen them, but at the same time, wreck the economy. Wreck the economy. That at one point in time, Jamaica couldn't pay for the oil we come in the Caribbean. Can't pay for it. They have to get money from private sector people. Captain say, nah, let go the ship of oil until him get paid. That's how bad it is under GLP administration. So Jamaican, me, melting pot, my brother Sir Byron, man of the wilderness, we are set to our time when we realize now, you know. Time when we realize which one of the government. You see, if a government cannot be true too, no? It's a poison too, no? Remember me telling you that. Because lie is like a poison, you know. It's like a man tell us if you run go down the road because your mother down there with a bucket of weight and you feel lift your up. And when you go down there, your mother not down there. You know you feel? You feel disheartened. You feel humiliated because you've been tricked and fooled. It's the same thing the Labour Party is doing right now. Tricking the people, taking the people for fool because it did not educate the people. So I expect everybody in Jamaica to be a fool and a dunce. Look for nasty Big Mama. Big Mama wear shit house and drive Davis. Look for them who want Jamaican people. Eh? Now have no regard for the listenership in Jamaica. Because them a serve a master with a criminal. A nasty kleptocratic guy called Andrew, Crime Minister Holness. I yield back the floor, my brother.
Byron,
yes,
you know, it's a hungry time now, you know, so we have to before me run, because I'm run, you know. But,
well,
you know, yeah.
You're not saying, because I can't stay long because my blood sugar started to drop.
Yeah.
So, you understand? But I just want to tell the people them to just, you know, be aware of the information that we are putting out, right? They are vital information, and, you know, the information will make you make an informed decision, right? And continue to tune in, right? Because you don't know as it relates to the Titan. We have the information and we pass it on, but at the end of the day, make sure, right, that you stay tuned, right? Do your facts check, because the Jamaica Labour Party administration equally is corrupted like the Donald Trump administration, plain and simple. And I yield back.
It corrupt more than that. Anyway, we run people, we are run here. I remember, Big Mama them forget impeach. No impeach, them forget
treason. Treason.
Them for charge for treason. Two of them have George James. The one of them up
yeah, and a serious thing. We want the people to take into consideration the government side of things. Them for charge for treason.
All right, we're there. No, so nothing. Later, brothers.
All right, blessings.
Blessings.